What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? Yo, what's up, Thunder? How's it going? How you doing, man? How you doing? Uh, I just got out of the bath, bro. Baths are fun. Baths are cool. You know, baths seem a little dirty, but the thing is that like it exfoliates your skin more. You know, it goes deep into the pores of your skin and whatnot. That's how I would describe it, and it cleans everything out better than just a shower. Shower's just like rinsing, you know. When you're in like warm water, it like soaks in there, soaks stuff out good. That's what I like about baths. You know, I don't know if anyone. That was probably weird to say, but I don't know if anyone can relate to that. What's up, Cole? How's it going? How you doing? How you doing? Hold up. We gotta get the.
This is the capital of Iowa, Des Moines. Tonight,
We gotta get a tablet.
Makesy Center from Monday Night Raw.
How's it going, Cole? How you doing? How you doing? We got the tablet here.
And we begin this evening by looking back at an instant classic main event from SummerSlam Sunday.
You will never be able to escape.
Yo, what's up, UFC guy? How's it going?
Seth Rollins. At SummerSlam,
How's it going? How's it going?
I'll show you what number one looks like.
Pretty good. Awesome. Awesome. Dude, Ian Gary versus Islam is here soon. I wish I could go outside, but it's just rained. It's wet. Oh, dude, I love rain, bro. You're in the woods? Dude. I don't know why, but I love rain. I love rain for sure.
Be able to escape the ghost of Seth Rollins.
Roman Reigns shedding the obsession.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, you know what that reminds me of? You know the Unabomber? You know who the Unabomber is, right? Ted Kaczynski, you know how he lived in the woods and he just had that cabin? That mini cabin? That's what it reminds me of. It's kind of cool, though. You know what I mean? Do you know who that is, the Unabomber? Or no? Roman Reigns is here. I like the woods because it's open space and I like exploring. Heck yeah. My bad, honestly. No, it's all good. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Where do you live, Cole? Like where? Yes, OTC. I'm just wondering, like, what state do you live in? If you don't mind me asking. Just trying to get a vibe. Yo, what's up, Justin? How's it going? Oh, Tennessee, dude, that's sick. Dude, Tennessee is beautiful. Land there is nice. That's sick, bro. Yeah, it does. Dude, a lot of people are moving to the Midwest or what those type of states and stuff like that. Cause land's low key cheap there, is it not? Is it not low key? You know? Am I correct on that? Or no? I'm not Japanese. Kilo. Well, I like Japanese stuff. I just had my first fight in. Wait, did you actually? Wait, like an MMA fight?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome
Oh, you found a turtle? That's what's up.
World Heavyweight Champion.
What's up, Haven? How's it going?
OTC Roman.
Heck yeah, bro. Dude, congratulations.
And one of the great main events.
How did it go? I watched Raw. Heck yeah, let's go, Haven. Oh, you watched Raw. How'd you like it? Are you watching Raw now?
His demon.
I got shout out. Heck yeah. Yes, Kilo. Good. Yes, Soul Ruka is awesome. I love Soul Ruka too.
An absolutely amazing.
So did you watch like a recorded one already, or did you watch it live? Just tell me either one. Because didn't I tell you to? I suggested that to you, didn't I not? Or am I tripping? I suggested for you to watch Raw, correct? Or am I wrong? Or have you been watching Raw? I mean, I kind of like WWE. Yeah, WWE is cool. You know, I'm more of a promo guy. I don't really like the matches because it's just like lack of entertainment. I'll just ignore it. Yeah, well, sometimes I do ignore. I don't know, bro. Motivation has been hard for me the last days. You know, I noticed, bro, like that. How I get motivated is by watching conservative content now. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like I'm attached to Republicanism now, and I can't get motivated without it. Like, I can't get motivated without watching Charlie Kirk. I won by submission. That's awesome. Heck yeah. How long have you been going? What do you mean? Yeah, I try to watch and learn more about WWE and stuff. I mean, I just watched the last 2 months. Hey, that's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, it's fun. It's like a live play. But yeah, I can't get, I don't know why, but I can't, now my motivation comes from like watching like people like Charlie Kirk and stuff. That's it though. It's kind of lame. But like that's where like I just watched a Charlie Kirk video and I'm just like, man, bro, like I don't know why, but I like get energy off of this, you know. I get energy off of him and stuff like that. Like I get energy to do something, you know. Which is kind of interesting. So, yeah, I don't know. Cody. What is it yellow and they can't swim? I don't know.
Acknowledge me.
Yeah, my friend says his motivation is watching Nick Fuentes. Dude, that's low-key saying me, bro. Yeah, I don't know why, bro. Like, I don't get motivated. Like, I think it's that it gives me, like, clarity, you know, like, one thing, like, I feel like conservatives, like, do well is give clarity and whatnot, and I just feel like I have, like, a different outlook on life that's practical, and that's why it gives me, and just people like Nick Fuentes give me that as well. Hey there, what's up, Living Dead Girl?
I went to Mania.
Thank you, Living Dead Girl. How are you?
I owned the whole summer.
What's up, Lizzie?
And last night,
F Roman Reigns, you don't like Roman?
I beat
No,
Seth
she's not here.
Frickin' Rollins. And I know in these parts that stings a little bit. That's your boy, and he is my brother. And I think last night we may have found some peace, but you know the OTC, I can only acknowledge so much, but I don't mind if you guys
Based,
do.
what's up? Yes, I do remember. I'm doing okay. I just ate enough Baby Bell. Oh, Baby Bell cheese is awesome. I've ate that before. What's up, Ariel? Oh. Hey, thank you. Yeah, it is a sick pen. And check this out. It comes apart. And it's a screwdriver. And you can use it as a mini pen. Oh!
A short-lived celebration for the tribal.
I'm about to draw. What type of things do you draw? Guys, make sure to click that like button. LA Knight's here.
This is gonna sit well.
I gotta get a Gatorade. Hold on.
LA Knight fresh off of a huge six-man tag team victory on SummerSlam Saturday alongside Solo Sikoa and Royce Keys over the Bloodline. The champ looks a bit bothered. And LA Knight completely unbothered. The most defiant superstar on the roster.
You like to draw in your own worlds? That's sick. I'm a horrible drawer, same. Let me talk to you. Yeah.
Congratulations. Congratulations on your win at SummerSlam. Congratulations on still being the World Heavyweight Champion. And despite the fact that Seth Rollins and myself, I'll eat the crow on this, we both said you couldn't do it by yourself. Congratulations on doing it by your damn self. But you're still a fraud. I've been calling your name for months. And instead of you answering, you sick the dogs. You put the bloodline between you and me. Why beat all them so I want what you owe me? Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, well, what do I don't owe you anything, what do I owe you? Well, just rewind your mind a little bit. If you remember, last time it was me and you one-on-one, it wasn't so one-on-one. So what I want is what you gave Seth Rollins. I want you, I want me, no bloodline, no outside BS. We can do it here tonight. We can do it next week. We can do it at Money in the Bank, and if you need to wait all the way to WrestleMania, hell, we can wait that long, and we can do it then too. But the bottom line is, the only right answer is yeah.
Do you watch Yeah, I watched Power Slap. Went through your shorts today, and Vid left some likes. Thank you, Joey. I appreciate that, bro. I think I saw your comment, by the way. You comment on my video, which I really do appreciate.
This is what I'm talking about. Fraud. What the hell are you talking to? Fraud? I only see one fraud. I don't come out here talking about being a megastar and then wear a Walmart watch on my wrist. A megastar. Zoom in. This is what a megastar wears on his wrist. You understand me? Skeleton tourbillon. And this is what I'm talking about. Everybody's running their mouths. What have you done? Oh, you beat my cousins. Oh, man, I'm happy for you. Very proud of you. You won a 6-man tag match. What else have you done? There's no validity in anything that you say. You haven't won a tournament. You haven't won a battle royal. You haven't won a big match. Please, let me know, huh? This goes for everybody back there. You don't get a #1 contender shot by bitching and moaning. We ain't gonna just sit here and complain anymore. You might have wasted my cousin's time, but you ain't gonna waste mine. Get in the back of the line. Wait, hold on. Just not yet, I got one more thing.
No.
But before I get there,
Minnesota showed out WWE. Some of my coworkers. That's what's up.
You are so much cooler when you're not standing right in front of me. You stand here and you make your little scrunchy faces and you talk about you haven't earned it. Huh? I've earned it time and again, and it took you and 38 people to beat me. What a coincidence that you and Seth were in a group called The Shield, because all you've done is use the numbers, the sneak attacks, to shield you against guys like me. Because Yankee, Oscar, uniform. Sierra, uniform. Charlie, Kilo, you suck. You're a fraud, and you're the biggest vomit in the business. You're on another level because you hold that championship, but don't get lost in the sauce, brother. You're not on my level, pal. I'm lightning in a bottle. I'm everything you wished you could be, but you couldn't. So I tell you what, when you figure out where to buy a pair, if you can't grow one, you come back and let me know, and I'll smack you back to factory settings. Because I know, you know, the whole universe knows the uncrowned champion of this world, with everybody saying, yeah.
LA Knight calling his shot tonight.
I'll be watching you. You let me know. You got a tournament for me? I'll jump in that thing.
I am new to Raw, so my opinion it means nothing, but I don't really like Seth Rollins. Yeah, I got you. In the back. Yeah, I like Seth Rollins personally, but yeah, I get why you don't. Why don't you like him specifically? It's okay. You can be honest with me. Is it the way he looks or something? Or yeah, he said he has a big mouth. Got you. So does Roman. But yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying. Bro, my back hurts.
SummerSlam weekend, including the main event from SummerSlam Saturday. Oma Femi, Brock Lesnar, locked inside Hell in a Cell.
Suffering, torment.
Inside hell, in a cell. Fires died, and the smoke cleared. He emerged, triumphant, over, finished, for now undeniable. The war had ended. Nothing remained
Congratulations.
but respect.
This is the future, ladies and gentlemen. This moment means everything to me. I knew that deep down, Trump has always respected me.
And the legends will remember.
He knows that I respect him as well.
Once again,
This is the past.
it was the dominion
This is the future.
of titans.
I'm tired. What's up, Ants?
After slaying the beast, Brock Lesnar, inside Hell in a Cell, the king of the ring, Obafemi, joins us live tonight. He won his first singles championship in his hometown last night. The new Intercontinental
Yes.
Champion, Chad Gable.
Oh, Chad Gable.
On Monday Night Raw.
Hey, Liv.
Again for the Judgment Day, but Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez are here to celebrate tonight. Roxanne Perez is in action against the former Intercontinental Champion, Sol Ruca.
Your boy is bouncy.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Greensboro, North Carolina.
Dude, I'm hungry. Dude, I'm trying to figure out my...
95 pounds, Javon Evans.
Capital from its private owners and want to institute communism. I'm a capitalist myself. I'm not free market per se. I don't think that we should have a laissez-faire. I think that markets cannot solve a lot of issues that make the quality of life for the people living around them worse. And we can go into detail as to why that's the case. So I'm definitely an advocate for intervention. I think that the public sector is probably better equipped to address some issues, specifically healthcare. I'd be more open to more public control. But the Republican Party is not free market. They have tariffs. That's interventionist policy. They've bought up shares in private companies like Intel, for example, with CHIPS Act funds. So if anybody's been more communist between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, it's probably Donald Trump. And when it comes to the DSA, they do not hold the majority stock in the Democratic Party. They're not shifting us to an era of communism in the Democratic Party. It's still very much liberal. It's not looking to upend any systems that we currently have. It's looking to make them better, which I think is a reasonable position. I think if you want to look at the face of the Democratic Party, it's not Zoran Mamdani. It's somebody like John Ossoff. It's somebody like Kamala Harris, believe it or not. John Ossoff, he's
What's up, Bad Luck? How's it going? What's up, Kilo? Sorry if I'm
like James
boring, guys.
In Texas. I don't know if you've heard of him. I think these people are the Democratic Party than say a socialist.
So what would you say their thoughts are on like capital? What's the difference between them and a Republican?
Oh, John Ossoff is a capitalist. But what's important to recognize is that you can all be capitalists, but have better policy to address problems. For example, tariffs are not going to get the job done. I think we've seen that. It was a additional $256 billion tax imposed on the average American, which American firms paid, and Americans, paid for around 90% of them. That raised inflation, that stagnated our growth, right? That's probably not best What we saw under Joe Biden was investments into manufacturing via the CHIPS Act, was investment in infrastructure via the Infrastructure and Jobs Act, all of those things. So if anybody's looking to wield our capitalist
tariffs.
Uh-huh.
Awesome.
Well, here's the difference, though. Here's the difference. Tariffs across the board are very different than targeted tariffs to protect certain industry when we believe there is a national security interest. Those two things are going to have very different economic effects. So tariffs on every imported good is going to destroy the average American because it'll increase their prices. It's going to hurt the average company. It'll hurt their profits. It'll increase expenses. So those things are not similar. Well, they can both be capitalist in a sense, which I don't really know if the Republican Party's the most capitalist in the world, but I guess they kind of are kind of iffy on it. But at the same time, the Democrats can still have better policy, which is what I just listed out.
Yeah, no, listen, like I said, I'm self-admittedly ignorant.
No, yeah, 100%. I get it, bro. I don't shame you for it. Not everybody is the
And
same.
I'm gonna look into this guy. Is this the guy?
John
who's
Ossoff.
number one
He's great.
on your Democratic for 2016?
Yeah, no. Yes, if John Ossoff would run it, I'd 100% be my number one option.
But I'm saying, like, market-wise, is he the leading, like,
No,
candidate?
as of this moment, Kamala Harris leads in the polls.
Don't you see? Like, I just feel like, listen, negative.
Kamala Harris isn't a communist.
No, not communist. She had so many negative stigmas towards her running up.
I agree.
For that shit. She had no chance.
I agree,
of winning.
but I mean, she turned out being right. What happened? We saw
what?
inflation go up. We've gone into 2 wars. He's bombed 10 different countries, the most of any president in American history. We're destabilizing the globe. The EU doesn't view us as an ally anymore. We've helped Putin. So I think everything that Kamala Harris warned us about ended up happening. So if anything, I think there's a level of credit that we have to give her, and maybe the American people must forgive her, because it turns out a lot of her predictions end up being true. So maybe.
I mean, I hear you.
Yeah. So maybe
What's good,
for a
Cool
second
Floyd?
time,
How's it going?
I'll do my due diligence. Then. I do think you're well spoken and like not a.
Thank you.
You're a smart kid. So I want to learn more, and then hopefully we can have a more educated conversation.
100%. I'm down. I respect that a lot, bro.
All right.
That's just
Have a nice
good.
one.
All right. Likewise. Have an incredible night. Oh, bass, bro. That's like that's just a breath of fresh air every single fucking time. Love that shit. Charlie
nothing
Kirk.
much.
Oh my God, is it actually Charlie? Charlie?
David, it's me, Charlie, since your big-footed ass wants to debate desperately. I just want to say you're a son of a bitch wannabe Phil bro and you just clown on my brothers, you big-nosed liberal.
Why can't you speak to me, Charlie? What happened? Charlie, no! No! Charlie! What happened? Why does he sound like a robot? Oh, well. Never mind. White liberals are destroying America? Oh, my God. Bro, listen, bro. 2 brown for the whites, 2 whites for the browns, bro. This is so... I just got being called brown by a white supremacist earlier, and now I'm being called white. This is so tragic. The dichotomy of it all. I'm not going to debate on communism, okay?
If one day you
Charlie's
decide to be a
requesting
gold
again,
digger, how
Charlie.
good will we be?
Charlie!
I don't know.
My vocal cords broke.
The fact that I heard the person laughing on the other side is so funny to me. That was good shit, King. Thank you. Translation: Brown, kill me. I hate that shit. Shit is so corny. Please, God, help me. God informed. Oh my God. God informed. Hello.
I would like to ask you your thoughts on why Republican states do better than Democratic states when it comes to economics.
Like which ones?
Apparently they seem, what do you mean which one? Well, most of them, if anything. They struggle greatly with their laws economically, and they're more expensive than Republican. Not bad, Democratic states. They seem to struggle like with prices more than they do with Republican sides. Why is that a thing?
So that's just wrong. If you look at the states with the most expensive healthcare, I believe 5 out of the top 4 is all Republican. If you look at the states with higher taxes on the poor than they do with the wealthy, Texas is a great example, where the poorer... no, it's true.
No, that's a lie.
Okay. Yeah, I got
The
you.
money in Act right now,
Yep.
that's a lie. The NIH literally says that it's actually the Democratic states that have the highest grossing income when it comes to like any hospitals you go to, and when it comes to like grocery sales or anything like Sam's, Walmart, Target, that every Democratic state is way more expensive.
I got you.
Hell,
So-
I'll give you the exception of Florida, but you know.
So, according to the advisory board, map the states with the highest and lowest
Is that
healthcare
a
costs.
.org or a .com?
It's a .com. So, if
Then
you
I'm not
look,
gonna take it. Please use it.
why are you going to invalidate the source based on it being a .com?
Because I use government sources because they're more accurate.
A .org
That
is not a
should-
government source.
I
It's not
forgot
gov.
to argue with a liberal.
What the fuck happened? Bro, that kindergarten ass shit? Oh, we did us right now? Okay, so according to here, overall, the 5 most expensive states for healthcare are North Carolina, liberal, kinda-ish, it's a purple state, South Dakota, Nebraska, Florida, Texas. In comparison, the least expensive states for healthcare are Hawaii, Michigan, Washington, California, Massachusetts. And I can explain to you guys the methodology if you guys want. It's the annual premium for employees with single coverage through employer-provided healthcare insurances. It's annual. It's a fucking list. I can go through it if you guys really want me to go into detail. But it's actually not true. It's the Republican states. Did he just? Yeah, he really just rage quit. He's scared of the baby. Oh, I mean, you gotta wait in line, motherfucker. We care about lines here. We're principled. We don't let people cut the line, brother, unless you're an illegal immigrant. And you got it, brother. Hello, Luis.
Hello.
How you doing? I'm sorry, your mic quality is really bad. Yeah, regime talk. I don't know if you're illiterate, but it says debating Republicans is a liberal. So maybe just revisit some of the things you learned in fucking pre-K, brother.
Hold on, guys. I gotta brush my teeth.
You just want free wins? You actually don't know why it is that I'm doing this. I'm not gonna fucking tell you. I mean, I could probably go back to leftists. I think I got my fair share. I just need to gauge where the Republicans are at when it comes to their talking points. Because I'm preparing soon. In only a couple of days, I will be in another city doing a big one. My dumbass first read dating Republicans as a liberal. Never, motherfucker. Listen. Liberal women are smarter. They're richer. They're hotter. They're cooler. They're more cultured, and the same vice versa, leftists and Republican men. That's just the truth. So if you disagree, go fuck yourself. You know, this new movie, this Spider-Man movie is a great example. I'm sure Tom Holland's a fucking liberal. Zendaya, come on. The CEO of Sex, Ned. Like, need I say more? Tom Holland is actually far right. You have to CDG and claim to be communist? I don't claim to be communist. Wait, what's your name again? I forgot. I'm sorry. It's been a while since Kim on stream and harassed me. Is it like Char? Fucking some of the R, bro. Oh, that set was lived up, bro. I know, right? I know. Hello, are you just gonna sit here in silence? Hello? Hello, Char. Isn't it something like that? Like fucking, I don't know. I don't
Thank
remember
you.
her name, bro. She has a fucking My Little Pony PFP.
Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
he's
Nini, what's up?
Well, dude, they were in here earlier.
How's it going? Guys, sorry if I'm
Tum-toes.
depressed. I'm depressed, guys. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to research.
I am the drippiest fucking online liberal ever! Ever! Yeah! Amen. All right.
Live hard. We're gonna destroy.
Fuck out of here, bro. Bro, my teeth look so yellow, it's pissing me off. I feel disgusting. I don't know why. It's the warmth or whatever on the camera setting. Please, my teeth are not this yellow. It's Charmander. I don't know. I don't know what you're on about. High speed. I'm not a fucking hype beast, bitch. Put some respect on my fucking name, liberal. Liz. Oh, the fucking dentist. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hello, Royal.
Hi.
Oh my god, that's so disgusting. Hello, yes?
Wait one sec. My dishwasher's kind of hungry. Wait.
Do you like Dean? Love him. How's it going, Palm?
What's up, David?
Not much.
How you feeling, man? You feeling good? I'm feeling
Feeling
good.
great. Yep.
Feeling amazing.
What do you want to talk about?
Anything and everything. What do you want to talk about?
Are you a Republican?
pick. Yeah, I was on Dean today. I was on
Wow.
Parker today.
You got credentials. Wow.
Yeah, I got
So
shit on
impressive.
both of them too. I lost to both of them, but I'm here now.
What were you arguing in favor of?
Parker, I was deportation, and Dean was deportation too. I did deportation for both, but I'm not gonna do that again. I need
Yeah, you want to do
else.
something different? No, it's cool. You have pattern recognition. That's impressive for a
Working on
Republican.
it.
So,
Okay.
well, what is your favorite thing about Donnie so far in this last year? What's your favorite thing about the Republican Party?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I just like how he picks on everybody. I think that's funny. I don't really support him. I just hope that I like him as a person. Not like that, but I like his no. Let me rephrase it. I like
The
how he makes fun of
rapist?
people. No, that's not true. He didn't do that.
He is, no, yeah, it was found.
That is fake propaganda. I don't
No,
care
digital
what he
penetration,
pulls up.
yep, it met the standard of
No,
civil
that's
court. He was
fake.
found
She
civilly
lied.
liable of digital. Oh, she lied? According to what? What was the evidence presented, sir?
It was literally accounts of her friends. It was her friends' accounts of her.
So it was witness testimony, which, by the way, is significant evidence in the court of law. I know a lot of people tend to reduce that down, and we have that. No, it is. It is. It is. You can refer to any legal scholar to
They could've
find that.
lied,
Find
though.
it such a big. Okay, so
It doesn't matter if they swore
Mike,
on the Bible.
I have a
or whatever
question for
they
you,
did.
Palm. I have a question for you.
I'm right here.
Do you think you're the first person ever to come up with the thought that, oh, they could have lied though?
I mean, maybe.
Okay.
No, I'm trolling. Yeah. No,
So-
there's definitely other
So
people
don't
that
you
say
think
that.
there's things in place to ensure that there is a good faith exchange of evidence to maintain fairness in the court, to ensure that everything that is admitted into the court as evidence against a person is factual?
I mean, yeah, they probably do stuff for that.
Exactly, right? So what's your evidence to prove that they were lying?
I mean, they're human. They had the capabilities to lie, so they probably did.
Well, Donald Trump is a human and he has the capability to rape, so he probably did. What's the evidence on your side?
That he did.
Last time I checked,
Yo,
Donald
what's up,
Trump's
sissy?
testimony consisted of him saying,
Thank you so much, Sissy. Sissy, are you still here? My bad. Don't worry, just be okay. Yeah, I got you. I'm looking up stuff, I'm writing down, I'm taking notes, guys. This is very just being quiet, just me being quiet, just thinking is good for me when I put it to the right use.
I could have sworn I got a Galaxy. Bro, Abel, listen, I want to make this super clear. Guys, if you send shit, do not do it with the expectation. And by the way, Abel, thank you so much for the Galaxy. That's fucking huge. If you send stuff to the Venmo, PayPal, fucking the other one, I forget the name, Cash App or whatever, don't do it with the expectation that I'm going to stop everything I'm doing and say thank you. I have the gifting very small. The comments takes up the majority of the screen. I don't want to... If you want to support me, that's awesome. Thank you so much. It legitimately means the world to me, but got to keep this shit moving, brother. We're going to be back to debating leftists, bro. Republicans fucking suck, dude. No big creators want to come because they're all pussies. Hello.
What's up, you stupid lamb roll?
Are you going to control yourself? How old are you?
Yeah.
How old are you?
58. I'm 58.
Very youthful 58. You age gracefully with that much hate in your heart?
No, Mom, we're gonna destroy you. We're gonna.
It's not even that funny, bro. Lock in.
Yeah, buddy. What do you want to debate about?
Get out of here, bro. Our future? Excuse me? This is anti-First Amendment, boy. Do you know who the fuck you're talking to, boy? I support the First Amendment more than Charlie Kirk ever did. Oh my god. 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 Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. Oh, I'm writing that shit down. That is a bar. That is a bar. I'm fucking keeping that shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ah, yes. Let's go. Let's go back. That's not a banger, bitch. It is. Oh, and I can defend that position 1,000,000%. Bro, trademark, bro. Oh, fuck yeah, bro. That was a banger. Dude, I want to get fucking veneers so bad. I hate my teeth. Tanka! Hello. Oh, he butt dialed. Oh! Sweet dreams, little lady. Love you. You sound big. I fucking knew it! Yeah, get fucked. Wait, oh my god. Not okay, wait, slow down. Wait. I don't mean you, the person trolling. It's just that's a big snore. You can't tell me that's not a big snore. Bro, my dad was big as fuck, and he would snore like that. He wasn't big as fuck, but he was big. You know what I mean? Like when you had to hug him, and you were a kid, your body would like. So when you're going like, come on. Nunca mande ese aquí otra vez, hijo de puta. Por favor, do not send that again, Zim. I'm gonna destroy you. Alex, what a beautiful name. Hello, Alex.
Hello.
How's it going?
We're good. All right, so I assume you don't support the Don, correct?
No, we don't support the Don. Yep.
All right, very well. So I want to consider myself a Republican. Maybe you think I am one. However, I do support Donald Trump as the current president. And I just want to know, pretty much as a baseline, why don't you support that?
Yeah, so I think the president is the public servant, the ultimate public servant of the people, and he's beholden.
I'm still here. Heck yeah. The road is long with many winding turns lead us to nowhere, but you're strong. Thank you so much.
Bro,
heck
are these
yeah.
people in bats the whole day? Please.
Let's go. Are you Spanish? Are you Mexican?
Bro, if I get another motherfucker in the bat.
Can you speak Spanish? That's is it Spanish, right?
Massive win to get past the front line.
Try to go back to my old ways. I want to keep the respect. Equals. That's what you wanted. But I have a standard. You two know this. It doesn't work if we lose. We're a family. A six-man tag. We have the advantage automatically. And you lose to your little brother. Matter of fact, where is Solo? Where is he? He should be on my hip right now. Coffee, go get it, Solo. That should be it. An LA night, this is crazy.
Shit. What the fuck? Oh my god. Come on. No.
It's your family. Jacob, are you my family? Yeah, right? Royce Keys isn't my family. He's not your family, right? He's not related to you, is he? Therefore, he's just one of the boys. Don't let these circus folks confuse you. This is it. We're the only bloodline here. This is all we have. Trust no one.
Hey, Uz, just say the word, we'll go get LA Night.
No word. No play. Shut it down. You had your chance on LA. Leave that fool to me. Don't touch him. Don't touch him. Just me coming on through here in my Walmart watch, my Walmart bag, but
I think I just overheard. Did I just overhear somebody say, leave him alone? Watch out. You don't want your daddy to come back and put you over his knee, do you? Boys, I'm out of here. I'll see you all next week. Y'all have fun, okay? You be good.
Thank you.
I'll see you guys. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a Harvard shirt. I love Harvard. Harvard's cool.
JCJ, the
for a year. Donald Trump posted pictures on Truth Social of Chicago on fire. Donald Trump used Black Hawk helicopters to storm into Chicago apartments and throw people out of their fucking out of their homes, children in the fucking cold in cuffs for searches of people's homes with no judicial warrants, nothing. I think J.B. Pritzker has the right to be mad. I think the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, has the right to be mad when 2 American citizens are murdered. There's no investigation into the murderers. There's no follow-up. There was no collaboration. When 3,000 agents go in there and they assault your people, they unjustifiably arrest American citizens. They're killing people, right? So if it was just an hold on. No. It's because it's disqualifying. That's the problem. I have no issue with internal enforcement. I believe that there should be an agency or agencies that work together to get rid of threats to public safety. That's a reasonable position that anybody can agree with. But in no world is ICE doing this. And we see this because a lot of the policy they have had has been ruled to be illegal. When they showed up to immigration courts and forced judges to drop cases so they can wait in the stairwell and try and deport a person who was seeking asylum in this country, that was ruled illegal. The way they've lost 10,000 times in the courts in the span of 1 year for illegally detaining people, that's pretty illegal. When they detain in these detention centers, they arrest people like American citizens, over 200 American citizens with no access to legal counsel, the outside world, that's pretty illegal, right? When they kill American citizens, that's pretty illegal. When it's their policy to violate the Fourth Amendment and not go through a judge, I think that's bullshit, though. So why is it that the states are apprehensive, to working with the Trump administration for all the things that I just listed?
If an agent walks up to you and if an agent walks up to you and is like, hey, let me see your papers or whatever they say, they're not going to comply, especially if they're not legal. They're not going to just give them up.
Because why are you profiling people off the street? What kind of policy is that? Don't you think we should have targeted enforcement of people that pose threats to public safety?
They do.
They don't. It's roving stops. They change policy. It's not the same. That's the problem. That's the problem. So the reason why states are so apprehensive is because there's good reason. Donald Trump deployed the National Guard to California. Donald Trump is killing American citizens, detaining American citizens. ICE has been ordered to ignore the judiciary when it comes to getting warrants. That's blatantly illegal policy, showing up to courthouses to dominate judges, to dominate immigrants who are following the legal pathways that we supposedly wanted to uphold. In what, send people to labor camp? I mean, the list goes on and on. In what world is that reasonable policy? That's not operating like you did in the past. That's operating outside of the scope of law in America.
So what do you believe should be changed as to make ICE
I can provide you my solution, but first what you have to do is recognize that there's a difference.
I think they could definitely handle it better, but I don't think they're doing it.
Better? Really? Only better?
I'm watching a Donald Trump debate.
I don't know if they're just...
Don't you think that there's been a drastic drop-off in quality?
Yes, sure looks good. Thank you.
88 people have died in ICE custody.
But
in CDP custody in the streets.
Most of all the incidents you are hearing about are from places where the government or the agencies of that area are actively working against the.
What was the officers in Minneapolis? What were they doing to stop ICE from doing their job?
It's not. It's like they don't help. That's the problem. They don't.
Oh, so now it's not a question of interfering. They're just not helping. Now, why is it that helping ICE from what? The people protesting?
Yes.
Why are the people protesting?
It's not.
Why was Alex Preddy protesting
the correct way?
It's good. It's good. You're not alone.
Alex Preddy did nothing wrong. He had a phone in his hand. That's not illegal.
Protest. What about the lady who hit the ICE agent with the car?
So now we're moving away to another thing.
That's another case scenario.
Renee Good was shot 2 times after the police officer was out of the way of the vehicle. That is excessive force.
And I believe.
So we're on the topic of Alex Preddy. What did Alex Preddy do illegally?
I believe that the taking of a human life is wrong.
Lorenzo
in any
Salgado
sense.
Araujo, Sebastian Guerrero, anything? Nothing. They're not wearing body cams.
I mean, what's
like? Why aren't you wearing body cams when you kill people in Texas, in Maine? Why? Like I just don't get it. You know what I mean? It in no world is this how a government agency with the highest standards should be operating, right?
And that may be true.
I agree. So listen, if you want to get criminals off the streets, I do too. I don't want there to be some crazy drug lord or violent person roaming the streets of America, but you don't do it by killing American citizens. You don't do it by...
Got you. I appreciate you.
Which is why we shouldn't support the Trump administration.
But
you can be
like
Republican.
said,
John, what's up?
Be more conservative. Yeah, okay. Well, the Republican Party as it stands now supports Donald Trump. That cannot be denied. Thomas Massey didn't support Trump. He was thrown out. Marjorie Taylor Greene didn't support Donald Trump. She was thrown out.
Oh, Liv Morgan.
Right now are just blatant supporters of
Yes.
Donald Trump.
Dude, Liv Morgan's so bad.
Well, it's been a while since Lillian's been here, but she's the greatest world champion of all time, Lillian. Cut Lillian some slack. It's her 27th anniversary with WWE.
I got the card right here, bro.
SummerSlam Saturday, Liv Morgan, the world champion, against Io Sky in a great matchup. The 2026
I got the card right here. Out of 10.
Liv Morgan
Let's go,
to
Liv.
the limits. But in the closing moments, Liv showed SummerSlam, Minnesota, and the entire world why she is the greatest women's world champion of all time by disposing of the genius of the Sky.
I don't like
to
Trump.
kick off an
I get that.
amazing weekend.
I get that. Let's go. Dude, Liv is so fucking bad, bro. Holy shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now in the presence of the greatest women's world champion of
Love Liv Morgan, yeah, same.
You guys already knew that, right? Because this past Saturday at SummerSlam, I defeated
Let's go.
one of the best in the world. I defeated the genius of the Sky, Io Sky. Oh, you guys are mad? You guys are mad? Well, you guys can stay mad. But I will give Io Sky props because she has been the only woman brave enough in this division to challenge me. And now that I'm done with her, I don't see any challengers. Do you see any challengers? Do you see any challengers? No, I don't see any challengers. So do you guys know what that means? That means that I'm going to be the longest reigning women's world champion of all time. But that's enough about me. That's enough about me because I want to take this moment to talk about another member of the Judgment Day. My best friend, my sister, someone that I am so proud to call our new Women's Intercontinental Champion, Raquel Rodriguez! And of course, we could not have done it without our Roxanne. And speaking of my little prodigy, in just a couple minutes, Roxanne Perez is gonna embarrass Sol Ruca and prove while the Judgment Day runs.
Hey, Sol Ruca.
late Night Raw.
Yes, she is, bro. What are you talking about, man?
Thank goodness.
So Ruca's here.
You're a real buzzkill, you know that, Cole?
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from Honolulu, Hawaii, Sol Ruca.
The former Intercontinental Champion Sol Ruca's got some scores to settle.
Dude, look at the steam on these noodles, bro. So hot, bro. Alright, switch to this.
You can be all out the administration that's fucking murdering people.
And again,
Murdering people. No. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. What you're doing is very shifty. And I'm not saying you're doing it on purpose. But instead of saying, you know what, it's unforgivable, you're saying, what's your solution? But you know what? Without them, you know what, this might be better. Oh, but killing anybody's bad. I agree. That's not enough. Okay. That's not a sufficient condemnation of what they're doing. When it is strictly their policy to ignore the Fourth Amendment, I don't know if you've seen the Todd Lyons memo, when it is their policy to not have body cams, which is against transparency, when it's in public interest to know people are fucking dying, being murdered unjustly, and that was after the murder of Alex Pretty and Renee Good. In what world is that a government agency that cares about the people? In what world is that an agency doing its fucking job?
Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the Trump administration.
I'm not a huge fan of Hitler, guys, but at the end of the day, we got to deal with these people. You see how unreasonable that sounds? I mean, we need law. I agree. We need law and order. 100%. Wait, what do you say I mean?
I didn't say, like... I mean, you're just making it sound all terrible, but
no, because it does sound bad. I agree. The guy that says we should terminate the Constitution, who launched an attack on America, yeah, that's really bad. You shouldn't be supporting that dude. It's really bad. So I don't know why, in your mind, does condemning ICE have to be a condemnation of the rule of law. It's not the case, and I think you recognize that to be the case. Then why can't you do it?
Because my issue is everyone is just condemning. Like the deportation,
as they should.
Like,
yep, as they should.
But everyone's condemning the deportation. They're not just condemning ICE; they're condemning the deportation of.
Yeah, because the deportations are stupid as well. Yeah, deporting people en masse is going to destroy the American economy.
But okay, if I went into Mexico right now and I wasn't supposed to be there, they would kick me out. Yes.
I agree. Mexico probably isn't the best country that we want to model America after, right?
But I'm letting you know, they would kick me out, yes?
Yeah, so okay, so here's the problem. You want a solution. I don't think that you should expect every single person in America to have a solid solution. I can provide you with one, which I will. But I don't know why we need to hold up that standard. What they're complaining about is important. What they're complaining about is right. Those are valid grievances. And simply because they can't tell you exactly, bar for bar, the structural change they want to see in ICE, that doesn't mean that what they're saying is
very hard. It's very hard to sit here and just say, yes, this needs to change, this needs to change, this needs to change.
Okay.
It's not set in stone of how it should be changed.
It's very easy to condemn it, and that's something that you're not willing to do.
I mean, I can condemn the killing of a human. Yes, that is terrible.
Okay, I agree. But why is that killing being brought about, and why do we continue to see a pattern? Is it just because? Lorenzo Salgado Araujo was not protesting. He was not a rioter.
You just sound. Wait, what does clutch mean?
Subject to the war.
What does clutch mean? What does that term mean?
Is it just because of riots?
What does clutch mean? What does that term mean?
And in Maine, they're not fighting ICE. There's not millions of people sitting there ready to beat your ass, stopping you from doing your job, but they still kill people. Why?
Yo, chill.
The fucking people
that sounds weird. It's funny though.
Orders are given are unjustifiable. That's simple. It is a structural rot. The agency has been poisoned by the Trump administration, and that's why we're seeing an uptick in deaths.
Okay.
So, and if ICE people were in so much danger and they had to defend themselves, why the fuck haven't we seen an uptick in their deaths? It's only the American citizens that are so violent, right? They're the ones that are dying, but the officers, they're somehow not. They're fine. I don't really see that as being something that follows, right? So, I just really want to hear you say it, and then we can talk about the solution. This is unjustifiable. It's unforgivable. There has to be change. This administration, the Republican Party that supports it, that's ridiculous.
Like I said, there's definitely things they could do better, and that's...
You just can't do it. You're not a politician. Why? Why just sit here and just be so indifferent to the fucking death of your neighbors, bro? It's happening across the country. I want criminals out too. I don't want fucking criminals that killed Laken Riley or Sheridan Gorman to be walking the streets of America. But I don't want American citizens to die at the hands of criminals either.
Really? What kind of charity? That's interesting. What kind of charity?
I agree. But somehow I'm still capable of disowning ICE and disowning the Trump administration. You can do the same.
But disowning is, it's not like we just don't need it.
I agree we need it. We need it. Here's the underlying problem. I agree. There should be enforcement. We should have agencies that enforce the law. There's no disagreement there. I don't see John Ossoff arguing in favor of this. I don't see James Talarico arguing in favor of abolishing ICE. I don't see Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Gavin Newsom, any of these people arguing in favor of abolishing ICE. I want border enforcement as well. I want CBP. I want those things to change.
Chicken.
What we do need is an efficient
So the woods is
system
like a
where
hill.
people can come here so we can reduce the number of illegals that enter the country in the first place. What we do need is
That's what's up. Heck yeah,
Democrats,
Cole.
all these people, labor mobility, not citizenship.
Dude, I burnt my
I don't
tongue.
want them to vote. I want them to be citizens of this country. I want them to be legal permanent residents. Okay? I want them to have their mobility. I want them to get paid more wages. I want them to continue to contribute to the country that they have been upholding, that they've been propping up for so long. I want those things to happen. And I also want criminals to be fucking taken out. I guarantee you it's more efficient to do those things. Because you can focus your resources on criminals instead of just immigrants in general. You bolster the economy. You make things more efficient. All of those things are better. Why can't we agree on that and simultaneously disown this administration? I'm a liberal, you're a fucking conservative. At the same time, we really agree. What's the fucking problem?
I mean, I really don't see an issue with.
I don't see one either, liberal!
Listen, I can agree. I can see things from both sides. I'm not closed-minded. I agree that there's changes for both things, for both sides, and there is bad on both sides. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, pro-Trump, pro-MAGA, right? That's not me.
Okay, I respect that, but when did Democrats do something similar?
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
When did Democrats do something similar? Like, dude, you can have I have problems with the Democratic Party too. I like 100%. There is nothing you're losing out when you say that the Republican Party is not what it was in the past. The Republican Party is no longer for fiscal responsibility. The Republican Party is no longer for the rule of law, no longer for hawkish foreign policy or being careful or whatever when it comes to our relationships with other countries. Why don't you want to bring it back to that point? Why don't you want to be the ones that prop up the financiers? We need that in this country. An opposition party with a fucking backbone.
That's not what the Democratic Party is.
I agree. Then bring your party back to what it was in the past.
Yeah, for real.
Continue to be a
Are
Republican.
you live every day?
But one that supports
Kind
this
of.
country.
Not really. Guys, if you're new here,
Why
make sure
can't you be both?
click that like button and subscribe.
You're not gonna vote fucking Democrat for the rest of your life. But I think that even you can recognize that what we're facing right now is unique to our era.
No,
we're seeing a Republican
I
Party.
feel like that's the first thing I said when I joined.
And that's good. You vote for a better America. I don't know why we can't break apart. Bro, if Democrats are doing the same things, I'd vote fucking red.
That's what I like. I like that people can sit here and have, like, when you go to Dean and you go to all these other people, you don't see them have like a conversation. You just see like a word soup of a yelling contest. But if you can actually sit here and have a conversation, which I feel like people can't do anymore,
Bring it back, liberal. Hey, I literally have an entire show about having a conversation with the Republicans. So, come on. Check out
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. I get it. We do need conversations in America. I agree. But again, when it comes to you specifically, liberal, okay, is you need to vote for America's best interests. And as of right now, what state do you live in?
I live in North Carolina.
How bad is the Democrat in North Carolina? That you can't say, you know what, maybe I just shouldn't vote with Trump on this one for one fucking midterm election.
You know, it actually we're a swing state. We're a swing state, so it's been getting really. We've had a lot of people moving from New York and upstate. States that are moving down here, and it's changing the way that our state is swinging in the votes. So,
what hat?
Listen, listen. You seem very reasonable. You have your head on your shoulders. We literally don't really disagree on anything. I'm hoping that you'll make the right choice. And if you want to continue the conversation or have a conversation another time, by all means.
No, you're good. I mean, if you need to get a move on, you're good.
No, I mean, I just think that this is good. Like, we don't really disagree. I think we want similar solutions. The question is whether or not it's going to translate in November when you go vote a certain way. And I'm hoping you make the right choice. And that doesn't mean you have to be with me on every issue. That doesn't mean you have to vote blue for the rest of your life. Just for now, for a little while, till the party gets back on its feet. I got faith in you, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really get behind. Like, it's just there's a lot of stuff. Like, people sitting there and boycotting. Like, I'm not going to vote on this bill because you won't vote on this one. That's so stupid to me. If a bill, and I know Trump's doing it too. But if a bill is in the best interest of the people of the United States, go ahead and pass it.
Okay.
But it's happening everywhere. It's happening.
I feel like blue states are kind of passing their policy at a higher rate, but
that also may be true.
That might
But
just be me. I think there's a reason why Democrats are standoffish when it comes to Republican policy.
But
are you referring to the Save America Act?
Yeah, I'm referring to the Save Act. That one, I think Trump should just go ahead and pass the bill.
Now, why is it that Democrats are hesitant to vote for the Save America Act, or they're not going to vote for it at all? Have you read the Save America Act?
I have not read the Save America Act.
Read, liberal. It's bad. Listen, I 100% listen. I'll explain it to you. But first, I need you to explain to you my outlook on voting. I think voting is something that should be very easy. It should not be a chore to exercise your civic duty in America. It is
no, it shouldn't. But that's
100%.
Politicians lie. Politicians lie.
I agree. Politicians lie. I agree. That's why Trump is lying. So, I read the Save America Act, and the problem with it is that it is now shifting the burden onto the voter when it should be the burden of the federal government to ensure that American elections are secure, and they're doing that through a number of methods, whether that be only documented proof of citizenship to register to vote, and on top of that, it has to be in person. There is no longer going to be mail-in registration for people in rural areas. There's no longer going to be digital registration for people in rural areas. It is up to the federal government, and it has been, and it has been for decades, for them to prove your citizenship on the back end. And why not strengthen that infrastructure, which is the SAVE database, the same one that they're going to use if the Save America Act passes? Why not make that more efficient?
Fuck, I burnt myself again.
We have the capacity to verify your citizenship.
Dude, fuck eating noodles, bro. This shit is fucking tedious as shit.
Every single American citizen.
For real.
But instead, what we're doing is forcing states to create completely new programs with no phase-in period and provide all of their voter rules to the federal government, to DHS, where then they
Where do you live?
will determine
Bad
who's
luck.
a
What
citizen and who is not eligible to vote. That to me is not making voting more efficient, right? That's not just voter ID, right? That's more than that.
I don't think voting should be more efficient. I think voting should be more secure. I think in-person voting should be the only way of voting.
I agree. There's only one. Well, no, actually, I fuck with mail-in ballots. But it's important to recognize that let's just look to see if voting is such an insecure thing. The primary concern from Republicans is having illegal immigrants vote in American elections. From the year 1985 to 2025, or was it 1984 to 2025? There's been billions of votes casted across this country. How many illegal immigrant voting related crimes do you think there's been? 100 out of billions of fucking votes, bro.
Is that 100 that was?
That is a non-existent issue.
Is that 100 that was caught, or is that 100?
No, that is 100 in general, not even convictions. That's according to the Heritage Foundation voter fraud database. You know, check it out yourself. So, I feel like that's probably a non-existent issue, right?
I don't know. I feel like all voting should be in person, anyways. It's nothing. It's nothing against illegal immigrants. It's not. I promise.
No,
you,
it's a question on security. But what's the evidence of this being so insecure? What's the evidence of so much structural?
My personal feelings are they should be.
Then why should we make it harder for people to vote if there's no evidence of it being less secure?
I just feel like
there being a lot of crime.
That's how it was. Back. I'm gonna say back in the day, but back when
mail-in ballots have existed for a really long time, bro.
Yes, but
Yeah, bro. This is fucking hot as shit.
I just did civics class. I forgot what it was called, but they used to do. It was some specific rotation of days they did the voting, in order because people, it was church on Sundays, and then they would travel on Monday and then vote on Tuesday.
Okay.
So I feel like that's how it should. Obviously, it'd be faster than taking a full 3 days because, we have cars now and stuff. But it should be in-person voting still.
I don't think it should be, and I think it should be easier. And I'm providing you with examples of why it's not a problem to make it easier to register or to vote. And I'm providing with solutions as how we can make it even more secure to appeal to you. If you want voter ID, Let's fucking do it. If you want to strengthen the infrastructure, let's do it. Let's make the SAVE database more efficient, which is already incredibly error-prone, which, by the way, the SAVE database is going to be used, if the SAVE America Act passes, to purge voter rolls. So I want that to be more efficient. I want it to be more accurate. And absolutely no evidence that mail-in ballots has contributed to increased voter fraud in this country, at least even a negligible amount. It's non-existent. So I'm not going to do something off of feelings that's going to make it harder for married women to vote.
Let's go. Becky Lynch is here.
Oh, you think I came for that? I already made that title famous. Honey, my work there is done.
Uh-oh.
I came for you, sweet cheeks. To make sure it's not another 100 days before you defend that title again.
Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan.
Because I've watched you prance around here like you've actually done something since WrestleMania, but all you've done is become a glorified valet. Because a women's champion should be fighting, not just flirting.
No.
And you have had the worst title reign of all time. And it's not just me saying it, everybody's saying it. But unfortunately for you, things are about to get a whole lot worse.
Very, 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 very typical, Becky. I'm not surprised. Do you know what you should actually be doing right now? You should be at home, being a mommy to your daughter. But you're not. Instead, you're in my face, which is actually pathetic. And do you know why you're in my face, Becky? Because you're jealous of me. Yeah, you're jealous because your time is over and my time is now.
Damn.
You're jealous because I am the greatest women's world champion of all time. Bye, Becky.
Damn.
So you're not even the greatest women's champion in your own group.
Hold up.
Hell, you're not even the greatest women's champion that slept with Dominic Mysterio.
Corey, did you
Stephanie
know
Vicaire.
this? I did not. Is it? Yes, she's here. She's back. La Primera, Stephanie Vicaire. We haven't seen her since WrestleMania. It looks like La Primera wants what Liv took from her. Oh, it looks like Liv Morgan's got a couple of people to worry about. Liv trying to scurry away. And the car now, as Becky Lynch looks on.
Yes.
Stephanie Vicaire
Of Gatorade.
with a vengeance. Vicaire taking out all the Judgment Day.
Oh.
And she's not done yet. Liv Morgan retreats.
Let's go. What's she bring it for?
Stephanie McCarron just said to Becky Lynch, "Stay out of my way," to which Lynch replied, "For what?" Well, still to come tonight in our main event, live
Street
from
fight.
Des Moines. Longtime friends, as close.
That's cool.
I don't recall it being
It's
tomorrow.
Gatorade.
Tomorrow's fucking Tuesday, boy. Having a bone to pick with me? Okay. Oh, I'm stuttering. You're scaring me so much. Oh my god, I was feeling.
My neck is red. I've been
Been working like a dog just to keep playing it, motherfucker. Okay, come on. Energy drinks, some Marlboros. Gonna cause my death. Keep on. FG, bro. They always gotta be Trump supporters, boy. Oh, hell no. Yo, it's been a while. Hold on. It's been a while. Hold on. Play that bitch. I said it's been a while. Hold on. Since we heard that TPUSA fucking anthem, brother. Hold on now. Get the halftime show up now. Hold on now.
I just want to catch my fish, drive my truck, drink my beer, not wake up to all this stuff I don't want to do. Like the
Same kind of gun.
I can't kiss me.
just kill another man.
What is this guy doing?
Only thing mine ever
Shot was deer. Y'all see that? I just want to cut my grass, feed my dog, wear my boots, not turn the TV on, sitting and watch the news. If I tell my own daughter that little boys ain't little girls. Woo! Drinking hot water. This cancel. Oh my God, it's so good.
in this country nowadays. The directions the finger point, everything goes up in flames. Saying
I'm some right-wing devil.
down south, Jesus reigns.
Being country. In this country nowadays. Amen, brother.
I just
Want to cut my grass,
watch
my game.
not get a picture of a flag up in flames
While people cheer. Amen.
oh, the same one my granddaddy fought
For. Amen.
stomped on like it's trash, and I'm a downright hateful monster. Back to blue and back.
Amen. Big country. In this country nowadays. The direction. All right, we're done memeing, bro. We're done memeing. Dude, I'm not used to my fucking face without glasses anymore. Listen, we're gonna go watch Spider-Man today. It's exhausting. I know this country's exhausting because it ain't easy being country in this country nowadays, bro. That was from the Turning Point USA halftime show. Hanging there. I'm hanging in there, brother. It's a tough fight. Because every damn day you wake up in America and Trump's doing his job. You just see so many people shitting on Trump. What he just did was right. He ain't even doing nothing wrong. Now all these fucking liberals want to tell him that he's wrong because he just fucking did something wrong to E.G. Carroll, man. Oh, you fuck. Oh my God. Oh my God. First time watching, but would you debate Madeline? Yeah, in a heartbeat, motherfucker. Fuck Madeline Pendleton, bro. How's that? Hello, liberal. Hello.
What's up? So you're actually you're friends.
Well, whenever we're walking past each other in the office, Steven says hello. I say hello back.
Sure. Oh, I never got to say thank you to Brock for all the things he said about me and to me. So when you see him, tell him I said thank you. That would be a pleasure, sir. And Oba, congratulations.
The ruler is here live. Next.
Obafemi's next.
Disagree with the grievance. I think the DSA is subversive. I think it is.
Oh! You are cursed. Very evil, very nice. Very evil, very nice. Yo, where's the kitty? I don't know. Oh, what's good? What's up, bruh? How's it going? Let's go. Danhausen is here. Let's see what he has to say.
Hello, Des Moines Housen! It is I, Danhausen. Very nice.
Very evil.
And actually, after last night, was it? You might be able to call Danhausen Mr. SummerSlams. Because as you saw last night, Danhausen defeated Domino Mysterious and won back his human monies.
Yeah.
I gave away a little bit of it, so I don't quite have all of it. But who cares? Because I'm rich. All right. Speaking of which, I'm in a good mood. Who would like some human money?
Yes. Yes.
Nice hat. You get that out of your locker room.
Don't worry, I've got some for you too. Yes. Oh, go nuts. It's in the spokes. It's everywhere. Who cares? I'm giving it away. Yeah, that's nice. But, nevertheless, here, actually, here's some comes from you. You have some. You! There you go! All right. Oh, we got more piles right here. Oh, who wants it? Who needs the human monies? Woo! Yes! Wow, I'm great. Oh! All right. Who's over here needs it? Yes! Oh, children need human monies! There you go. Remember, love that Danhausen. Get all the human monies, because if you don't,
You are cursed.
Oh my God!
Yes, they love Mars. Of course I remember you. How are you?
That's his cue to disappear.
Yes. They love Mars. You should be turning on notifications and come on here more often. You're an OG. How are you? You should definitely turn on notifications so you know when I go live. They love Mars. Are you still here? Is she still here? Damn it, bro.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Okay, fucking RC, we're gonna get some engagement, then we're gonna... Come on, hold on now. What's up, bitch?
Your little circle jerk over.
Bro, you're so gay, dude. I'm 100% convinced, bro. You love talking about that shit. It's like actually crazy.
Do you grow facially on your cheeks? No, I don't. I don't have cheeks. Wait, yes. I said that. Of course, I remember you, De La Mars. I'm just wondering, like, I haven't seen you in so long. You should come on here more often. Because you're an OG. You know, you should turn on notifications so you know when I go live. But how are you? Just know, I want you to come. I want you to still come on here. You know, and like, I don't want to forget you. You know, because you've been here since day one.
Crazy and fucking stupid and dealing in identity politics. You know, that's what you obsess about. Maybe because you yourself haven't truly found yourself as a person. You don't really know your identity. It's not clearly outlined. But the DSA supports getting rid of the judiciary branch, essentially defanging it and establishing...
Oh, yes, that's right. You did have your kid. No, I get it. Well, thankfully, I don't go live that often anymore. But you should turn on the notification bell so you do know when I go live. Just because I want to stay updated. You know, how's your kid, by the way?
It depends on the candidate.
How's it been being a mother? Congratulations, by the way.
With respect to Ukraine and our support for them, I think there's significant differences.
You're the one with the motorcycle, right?
The average DSA member or whatever. And even then, I want to...
Correct? The one with the motorcycle?
Not all of them are so unreasonable, crazy lunatics that want to destroy this country. Just in the same way that I don't know
awesome.
how MAGA Republican voters are. But yeah, it's just like incredibly unreasonable.
So, how long has it been since you had your kid?
Like what?
Like you want.
What's up, Bailey? How's it going, Bailey? Are you new here?
Yeah, I want to generate more revenue. It's not
exactly.
just the top 1%. It's like
a socialist talking point.
Oh,
you want to tax
okay,
everyone more. No, you want to tax the rich You want to tax the richest people in this country more.
Like, oh, congratulations. Well, Bailey, you should definitely subscribe and come back in my lives.
I don't want a wall tax. I want to increase income tax and property tax.
For everyone?
The majority, yeah. Now, I wouldn't want like crazy.
Awesome.
On the middle and lower.
What's his name again? What's his name?
Income.
Okay, so
yeah,
you
like
want to increase
classes.
taxes on the rich. Why? They already pay.
It generates. Yeah. I can explain it to you if you'd like. Let's try not to be stubborn. So there's this concept. No. So mine is actually backed up by like a general understanding of economics. Do you know what the diminishing marginal utility of money is?
Roaring? That's awesome. Yo, what's up, TG?
So what that means is essentially...
So, do you like... What type of food do you feed him? Just curious, what type of food? Oh, you got a dog too? What kind of dog is it?
Because I want to make you look bad because you're a fucking loser, bro. You're just a fucking spoiler that shits on people for no fucking reason. You know what's best for this country. I don't think you're a dumb guy and you still decide to vote right and be a Trump supporter.
Wait, you just contradicted yourself. You said, I'm not the brightest tool in the shed, and then you said, I'm not a dumb guy.
Okay, bro, go fuck yourself. Okay, I'm going to explain myself. So, for a rich, wealthy individual... Sorry, rich...
Can I just do that?
Sure.
Can we just get this? Can we just wrap it up?
I know you're not... Yeah, you're a fucking dumbass, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Dude, like, Jesus Christ. What a waste of fucking time.
Why did he dodge that guy?
Put these guys back on now. Get that boy out of here. Who the fuck do you think you are, RC? You're a dumbass, boy. Don't ever come around here again. We don't accept you around here. You understand me, boy? Don't you ever come back. This is a liberal country. That ain't you. You better stay over
My cat's name is right. Oh yeah, what kind of cat? What kind of dog is your dog?
Hell.
They love Mars.
Hear me.
What kind of dog
You're
is
not
your
funny? You know it's funny. This Austin guy says I'm not funny. Yet I have his ass laughing to the top of his fucking lungs, not being able to focus when we shoot episodes of Split. This guy is full of shit. I'll tell you.
An action born out of evil or envy or jealousy. But now, with wisdom and hindsight, I realize that it was all a test.
Great Dane, that's
He needed
awesome.
to come back.
Oh, orange cats are awesome. Dude, Garfield. No, not Garfield. It's what is it? What's that cat's name? The orange cat's name? That's Griffith or something like that? What's the cat, the famous orange cat's name? I haven't heard that show in a long time.
But then going into SummerSlam, the question changed.
Garfield, yes. Okay, it is Garfield.
To
You know what I was thinking of? When I said Garfield, I thought it was another dog and stuff. I thought it was a dog. I thought, you remember Clifford? Does anyone remember Clifford the dog? The big red dog? I love Clifford. Clifford's amazing. Me and Clifford are friends. Yeah. And Blue's Clues, yes. Yes, that's what I was thinking of. Like, oh,
And now, the beast can finally rest. But now my destiny seems clearer than ever.
yes,
But
Garfield is
oftentimes when
awesome.
the path is clear, that is when men miss it. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no correct path. We forge our own destiny. So with this torch that has been passed on to me, I will forge my own way and lead a new generation, a new crop of talent. And with all that, the old guard will fall. And if any man has a problem with me, if any man has a problem with one who holds the torch, you will answer to the ruler. You will answer to the destroyer. You will answer to the bringer of war. You will answer to Oba Femi.
Yes, I think so. Oh, wow.
Respect to the beast, but making it crystal clear that Oba Femi's work is
Oh, Femi looks goofy.
Years ago, they told me any day now there could be a president that comes and just wants to take everybody out. And I'm like, well, he couldn't do that because that's mean, that's messed up. And they're like, no, mijo, what you need to understand is that we jumped the border, we crossed illegally, and that's why they call us illegals. Okay? So this whole thing
bro.
of arresting Americans, that's bullshit, bro.
It's not bullshit. They have arrested American citizens. That's just not true.
They fucking overstayed their student visas. Like my uncle, he was dating a girl who overstayed her student visa.
Bro, listen, if I learned anything talking to fucking Mexicans my whole life is that you motherfuckers are so stubborn, bro. Please, give me a fucking break. He's not going to stop talking about his life fucking story, dude. I'm not going to waste my time on the show. What do you mean, tacos? This is my order. Uno, fucking taco de pastor, cuatro con todo.
Yo, what's up,
Dos taquitos de
Different
pizza
Theater?
con todo. Okay? Bien crujiente, alright? Some jalapenos on the side, chiles toreados.
For Takeoff once said, just wait on it. And the reason why is there's actually a very sophisticated legal strategy that has very little to do with the legislature. The 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution protects anyone from being deprived of life or liberty, any person. And what we would do is we would redefine personhood from the moment of conception. And so I actually think abortion's already illegal by the Constitution. And so instead of trying to build some bipartisan coalition or whatever, are we started? I just want to make sure we're on the other side of this line, otherwise they'll crucify me.
Even us?
No, but they'll crucify me because of you. So yeah, that's the big view.
I saw that you were doing something slightly different. Tell me if I'm wrong, because I saw this a while ago. And I want to make sure all my facts are concurrent.
Yeah.
You said that you were going to give benefits to couples that get married under the age of 27, allowing them to actually raise these children that because of the no abortion.
That's part of the system, right? The idea is how do we yes. How do we incentivize good behavior? How do we not reward bad behavior?
Where are you from?
And so
I'm from Cali.
If you want to have kids, but you don't have the money to have kids, you need help. And we want to help you. But we have to reward you. So we have to reform the welfare system so people who are not taking welfare shouldn't have it, and then use a lot of that money to redirect it toward investment for young families. Because I think you got to do two at the same time, right? You've got to say, hey, at the same time, I want to be able to vote and end.
I'm watching conservative person now again. What the fuck? What is this? What is this?
There's a light I've always followed when I'm looking for the way, when I'm searching for the answer. In the moments I'm afraid, there's a whisper in the wind, and a story in the
Dude, I looked up David and they came up with something completely different. Okay, I guess that's not live anymore. Okay, alright. Can you go outside? Well, I've been thinking about going outside, but I'm drinking now, so probably not. Well, I can go. What do you mean by can I go outside?
But we're not going to be able to unplan or upend the severity and the seriousness and the uncertain or upend the end abortion. But we're to vote and end abortion want to be two at the same time, right? You've got to say, hey, at the same time, I want to be able to vote and end abortion, but we're not going to be able to unplan or upend the severity and the seriousness and the uncertainty of an unplanned pregnancy. That's just the truth. So how do we meet both ways? One of them is providing financial support, helping with childcare, paid maternity leave for moms in our state. You shouldn't give birth on Friday and then be expected to go back to work on Monday. And so that's part of this pro-life culture, but it does begin with an acknowledgement that abortion is murder, and we have to change the law accordingly. So.
I was gonna continue my question from earlier.
Please.
I was gonna say, I think if there's any possibility, if you could look into putting more promotion and trade school programs
Yes,
in high school.
we will.
Because I thank God, because I was more focused on Baker. George C. Baker is a aviation college.
Sure.
On Leuni.
Yeah.
Probably driven past it.
I have.
On the way to the beach. But I did that program, and teachers are very reluctant to let you go your own way.
Mm.
You can't go your own way. And I would come back with a GPA, a weighted GPA of almost 4. It was 3.75, 3.75, 8, something like that. But my actual GPA was actually low because at that school I was obviously not going to care about lower academics that I had a decent understanding on, which was C's. Not, of course, D's or bad grades. So my point being, I think if you could look into that even more, because I think we can make so much more money as a state if we have people actually know a trade to fall back on, even when
Yo, what's up, Winnie? How's it going?
the degree might not get them as far, depending on the time.
I agree. Well, especially now. I mean, can you imagine being a graphic design major in the age of Claude and Grok and ChatGPT, where you can make a flyer like that? And so these are things we have to be honest about. Now, AI is not coming for blue-collar labor anytime soon. Using your hands, trades, HVAC. These are the things that matter. And so absolutely, invest and make sure that teachers are supportive of either the academic or the trade route.
Thank you so
May I give you
much
this?
for your time and patience. Yes, sir.
Oh, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Hey, man,
I'll
James.
take a picture sent to my buddy.
Yeah, let's do it.
They told me you're going to be here in the next one house. So.
Get in there and vote. Are we live? We're good? Okay.
Can we take a selfie with you?
Yes, of course. And you got to tell 3 people that you voted today. Post this on socials, okay? Got 15 days to spread the fish.
Thank you.
That may be the. What do you think about that, baby?
You know how like people's names determine their outcomes sometimes?
Yes.
Like, there's like this study that like if your name is Dennis, you might be a dentist or something. I think Fishback was like sent by God to get you as governor. Because Fishback could not be a more fitting name, man.
Yeah.
I told him that.
Yeah, Fishback is.
When we met, that's funny. That's a good perspective.
Man.
But yeah, I do have one thing. I know it's like this might be rage bait, but a while ago you said that you were gonna raise foreign like people coming in to study here to $1 million a person.
Yeah.
So are you still planning on doing that? Is that a realistic proposal?
It is. And what I'm really, let's just zoom out. I'm committed to the idea.
I'm in favor of it. I just want you to know.
Yeah. I'm committed to the idea that if you apply to FIU or FSU or UF and you have good grades and you have good test scores and you are qualified to get in, you should not lose that admission spot to a kid from China.
I'm good.
Or India. Not because the
Hold
kid
you
from
got
China or
yes,
India.
yes I do. We got to get more though. We got to get like 30K to be honest with you, you know. That's like, you know, I feel like I got to make it on social, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, bro. I'm not really sometimes I get not confident in myself, but yeah, like I gotta gain some confidence in the fact that I have 2K subs, you know? I guess, if that makes sense. Because sometimes I beat myself up too much, you know? I'm good. I had hockey and soccer. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. What's up, Princess? How's it going? Guys, make sure to click that like button if you're new here. Subscribe and come back to my lives. Make sure you turn on that notification bell as well.
Smart, they are, but our kids from China or India, you are qualified to get in, you should not lose that admission spot to a kid from China or India. Not because the kids from China or India aren't smart, they are.
Wait, wait, what's going on here?
Tonight, speaking of unpredictable, Javon Evans had just defeated Ethan Page in a one-on-one matchup when we saw the return of Big Cass. He's 7 feet tall and now in the great back. Fighting out of the ring. Man, you gotta give Tozawa credit for Buster. And for the exclamation point, manhandling Javon Evans into Old Faithful, the East River Crossing. Big Cass is a big, big problem.
Dude, look at Big Cass. Damn.
Let's check in with Jackie Redmond.
LA Knight has must-see content. Yes, yes.
Guys, thanks so much.
Sure,
Please
John.
welcome Raw's newest edition, Big Cass.
Just think that's 2K people who enjoy watching your vids. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Big Cass is back.
Monday Night Raw. We all knew that you'd be making your debut tonight, but I don't think any of us expected that. Why Javon?
8 years. I was left for dead in the dirt. 8 years. It took me to get back here from rock bottom. Javon Evans, nothing personal, bro. You were just in the way. Make no mistake about it. I am here to stack bodies.
Damn.
You were just the first. You surely won't be the last.
Big Cass planning a rampage here on Monday Night Raw as
I think you had like 7 when I saw you 10 months ago. Yeah. I don't have a wig. It's not a wig. Dude. I don't know. I gotta lock in for real.
Kids deserve a spot at the front of the line. Taxpayers build FIU. We funded and built FSU and Miami-Dade College.
Who agrees it's more comfortable to sleep without a shirt? Me. Dude, I sleep in my underwear, bro. You kidding me, man? I totally agree with that. It's, you know, it's going all right. You know, still mad about things she does. No, it's not AI. What do you mean? Looks like what? You know, yeah. She's frustrating, no. For sure. But, you know, it is what it is.
And to think that these places.
Yeah, well, I don't know, bro. Here's the thing, bro. I wrote down this earlier. I wrote down like why like I might be depressed all the time now, and it's I'm really not getting things from her. I don't know. Like people have said I'm spoiled before, and I feel like I lost that and stuff. That was a big that's a was a big part of my happiness. Just like not worrying about like money and stuff like that, just like those things. That really took away from me. And I think like I've had this mindset like, oh, it's good to like, save money, which it is and stuff, but I just don't know if I can like operate in that, like and I'm thinking about just like spending money and stuff like that cuz like it's like it's like if I save money I'm like depressed, and if I don't I'm happy. Like I just it's fucking brutal, bro. It's brutal. I just yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This is my journal, by the way. Yeah, it's not likely either that will happen too, though. It's not likely I'll get hired. I don't know. I just have to pick one or the other. And like, I don't know. I'm very black and white thinking. That part of comes with my autism. You know. But yeah, I'm journaling though, so that's good. I feel like I don't like journaling. I feel like I've written too much. I don't know. Maybe not. I like going through the pages though. That's good. Journaling helped me a lot. Yeah. Sophie, what do you mean? Sophie, you should definitely subscribe. Carrie, you should definitely subscribe as well. Yeah, so like I don't know. I think I might just spend all my money. I mean, it's like I don't even have a lot of money to be honest with you. I just like at all. So it's like maybe I should just spend it, like I don't know, bro. This is a brutal it's it's a it's a brutal task saving money. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. And I got like sort of asked like I got trading cards, bro. Like I don't know. Maybe I should just spend. The thing is, bro, is I want to be like well diversed and stuff. Like I got really rare trading cards and so forth, like and whatnot. And I like spending money on those things, and I consider those sort of like an asset, alternative asset, which the cards that I get and stuff are good investments, and I like doing that. But then I have saved money as well, and so like I just like, but the trading cards actually make me happy. They give me dopamine. Saving money just like it's just like fuck. I don't know if I could survive saving though, honestly, bro. Like I'm just too depressed. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Students, while denying local students who are just as
I created this term, by the way. So you know Republican and Democrat, right? I created this term. Well, actually, I didn't create it, but I wrote it down just to give me an idea. And here, let me get it here. But I wrote down like a term called democratic capitalist. So I was thinking about this, like, man, maybe I'm just like too like thinking Republican mindset, and so I wrote down, like, because Republicans they say save money, save money, save money and stuff, but then, I looked at democratic capitalist and stuff, and I wrote down like what that means and so forth, like right here, democratic capitalist and stuff, and I came up with like, what it means to be a democratic capitalist, like so. Focusing on quality of life rather than money and stuff. So that means spending money on stuff that will make you happy and stuff like that, whatever that is, like things on Amazon or trading cards or whatever and stuff like that. So basically saying democratic capitalists are all about like, focusing on quality of life and buying whatever makes you happy and whatnot and stuff. So that's what I wrote down for that. And like I experimented with that, and I'm just like, yeah, that it feels good, you know. Basically saying that quality of life is more important than money. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, that's true. Like I'm not trying to focus on politics at all, honestly. If anything, I'm trying to get out of it. And watching democratic content like helps me sort of get out of it cuz it like the thing the conservatives are more harsh with it, and stuff. But yeah. Bro, isn't my writing beautiful? It's not good writing, but I'm so proud of myself for writing all these things. I wrote about Trump too. I wrote about a Trump video, numbered things. Yeah. What do you think a girl not knowing their dad is a red flag? I think dads are supposed to be red flags, to be honest with you. So I mean, I don't know. That's my opinion. I just like, for me, like I view it as like this. Like I believe like men are supposed to have less sympathy and stuff, and are supposed to be more violent and whatnot. So like when you say red flag, it's like every guy has red flags, you know. So in terms of like I would say as a girl, just like listen to your mother, maybe as a girl, but yeah. I don't want to offend you, they love Mars. I don't know. Like to be honest with you, yeah. To me, like I feel like a mother can't do anything but be nice and stuff. Like I just like think that's what like or nurture and whatnot. I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea to be sort of strict as a mother. I don't know. I think it's dangerous. Like, because here's the thing, like, and here's the fucking thing, bro, okay? Singles mothers, especially. You know, the fact, one of the problems with the statistics on people with like single mothers, like, it's actually very terrifying and stuff. Because if you grow up with a single mother and stuff, you're way more likely to end up in jail. You're way more likely to not graduate high school. You're like significantly more likely and stuff. Part of the reason for that, I believe, is because um single mothers do try to play both roles, and I think that's unhealthy because also as well as you see especially in black families, you see a correlation with single mothers, men being raised by single mothers, and domestic violence and so forth. And that's dangerous because I feel like if mothers play both roles, if they like be like the disciplinary person like a dad, I feel like that's teaching them to not like woman and whatnot and stuff, if that you get what I mean. And I believe it sort of encourages that setup, you know? Do you guys get what I'm saying and stuff like that? Like, because think about it, like if you're like a strict mother and stuff like that, it kind of has you have a negative view on woman and stuff like that, I believe. And that's what I believe is dangerous and whatnot, you know? Do you guys agree with me? Yeah, exactly, Eduardo, I agree. But yeah, like there's the thing is that yeah, I believe that's a strong correlation too. Yeah, no, I agree and stuff. I just like I don't know. I just don't fall. The reason why I say this is because I'm grew up with a single mother, and I could tell you that my mom tried to be like a strict woman and like discipline, her son and stuff is not it and whatnot. It's one of the reasons why I don't like her, and it comes off as disgustingly masculine, and it's not healthy for a woman to be like that. I don't think because it they're not supposed to be like that, bro. They're supposed to be like, nice, kind and stuff. You know what I mean? And whatnot. And yeah, I just maybe that's just a bias, but I don't know, bro. And it's dangerous, I believe. But yeah, no, I believe single mothers can be successful. I just want to put an emphasis on like, I don't think it's good for a woman to try to pretend to be a guy, especially when raising a son. That's for damn sure. Because it's not. It's. I'm telling you, bro. It's gonna not the way. Like it's not because it's not reality, bro. Dude, it was awesome. He's 16. Eduardo, do you agree with me though? Do you agree with me, Eduardo? I swear to God, that's a high predictor of men committing domestic violence is being raised by single mothers, bro. Because they try to play both roles, and I swear to God, it's teaching them to not respect women. I swear, bro. I swear there's a correlation there. They say all women are born evil. Some just realize their potential later in life than others. Do they actually say that? I think I have heard that before. Dude, yeah, dude, that's a dangerous thing. Is trying to play a dad as a single mother. I swear to God, bro, it's dangerous, because it's like impossible for like a woman to replicate. It just ain't the same, bro. Like it just ain't the same. What did you mean? Did you get it? Ideally, you want like a male figure in their life.
Qualified, that's a problem. And so it comes from a place that I don't control who gets a federal student visa. That's the federal government. That's the F1 visa. But as Florida governor, I would have an opportunity to have input in what the tuition rates are for different groups of people. And so I think foreign tuition, you raise it to $1 million, not thinking they could ever pay it, but it's precisely because they can't pay it that they won't be able to come in. And those spots can go to kids from Kendall, Doral, from Miami Gardens, from everywhere.
Okay. I see. Because I thought you were like, oh yeah, you're raising to $1 million, and then you'll have like a couple people come or not. I thought it would. Like,
Yeah, and if you hear Eminem's rap music, you could tell he has a lot of trauma. So probably didn't want to be raised by a single mother, you know? Yeah, like I was your male figure for 2 hours around the. What do you mean by that, DR? I don't know, but yeah, dude, I just like I hate the idea of single mothers acting like a dad. I'm sorry, bro. I just like it's not good. I swear to God. Dude, cause what happens if that kid grows, let's say if you just spank them and stuff like that, what happens when they grow up and they try to fight you back and stuff? What's gonna happen then? Like, they're gonna realize, you're not, I don't know. This fucking, oh man, it's not good. I swear to God.
don't think, and by the way, if they come, I'll have lunch with them personally. Honestly. And by the way, if they actually do, I don't.
thought you were like, oh yeah, you're raising to $1 million, and then you'll have like a couple people come or not. I thought it would. Like,
I don't think, and by the way, if they come, I'll have lunch with them.
But the same way for a girl with no dad can be toxic too. I don't believe that. Not even nearly as much as a son with the mom. Because here's the thing, girls can relate to other girls and stuff. A guy just really can't relate to a mother and whatnot. They're not the same gender. And, I know there's just certain traits that guys have and women have. And, and I believe. No, I think you will be, they love Mars. I'm just, saying, I don't know, I don't know, bro. I've never been a single mom. I'm not one to give advice. I shouldn't be giving you advice, but I'm just saying, I don't know. I just wouldn't be hitting him. That's all. Please don't be hitting him. Don't be spanking him either. And if you're gonna spank him, have a guy do it, please.
Personally. Honestly. And by the way, if they actually do pay the $1 million, do you know how many scholarships we can give out with that money? The idea that, oh, hey, you got money, you got scholarship, you got bright future. Guess what? What about your textbooks?
Okay, yeah, good. Because my mom did that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Did he actually? When did this happen to Lamar's?
What about all the other things you need? Your lab equipment, if you're in chemistry, if you're in trade school, all the equipment that you need. And so the all-in cost of education needs to come down, and the way you do that is by being honest about what our priorities are.
It's like the gold card idea. The people coming in, they get free green card just by, not free green card, $5 million green card.
Exactly.
They can pay for that money, we can use it.
We're going to do it. That's the idea. That's the idea. How are you, sir?
Thank you.
Honored to have your support. May I sticker you up?
Yes.
This is the unofficial official sticker. Thank you for what you do.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Dude, I need to. I'm gonna need to go to the bathroom. Hold up, just give me a second, guys. Is this guy still alive?
I don't care.
Okay, Trinity. Goodbye, Trinity.
Leave, Trinity.
You just kicked her. Oh, yeah, man. Only hop inside of the queue if you have Dude, damn! I haven't seen this guy in my queue for a while. Liam's in the queue. He skedaddled a long time ago. He used to used to sit in that queue all day long until I set him straight and I told him that he's not invited on the stream, but apparently he's back. Let's see here. Megan, thank you for the $10. She says you were feisty and roasting tonight. Trinity is so confused, Brett. I do feel a little bit feisty tonight, not going to lie. Lydia and Monkay, appreciate you both for the $5. Ella and Daniel, thank you guys for the $5. Then Courtney with the $10 says, my parents said that it doesn't matter if Trump is a predator because he's good for the economy. What should I say? Ask them if they would have voted for Epstein under the same conditions as Trump, given that he ran on the same economic policy, but like with the whole raped like 1,000 children thing under his belt. And if they say no, then they do think that being a sexual predator under the right circumstances can overwhelm the impact of his economic policy. If they say yes, then you know that your parents are crazy. Thank you so much as well, Christy. Thank you for the $20. Actually, I already read that earlier, but just know that I appreciate you. Michael, thank you for the $10, who says, thank you for doing what you do. You have a crazy amount of patience. I try so hard. Leslie, thank you for the $50 donation on Venmo. Thank you, Leslie. Let's get 500 Leslie W's, who says, fuck that last guy. Referring to Landon. I'm seething. I cannot believe boys who were brought into this world by women were raised by women, and that are probably still being financially and physically taken care of by a woman can even say these kind of things. Thank you for supporting women. Yeah, man, it's just so crazy when I hear all these shitheads talk so poorly about women. Like, would you ever talk about your mom this way? Would you ever look at your mom this way? It's just so sad, man. You know, like, I love my mom so much. I can never say these things about her. And you are when you say these things about women as a generalized category. Thank you, Chase.
I dated a girl with no dad.
I really appreciate
She didn't know how to believe after I learned she has been abused by him, and I loved her. Dude, I swear. Dude, there's some woman who just like. Dude, this is fucked up and stuff, but I swear to God it's true. There's some people who like abusive relationships. There's some women who like abusive relationships. And that's fine, honestly. I'm just saying, like there's switch that. There's a lot of women who like abusive relationships. And that's fine. If love is love and stuff like that. I'm just saying it's like, I don't know, bro. Like, this is the reason, and this is the reason why domestic, the max, do you guys know the max sentence for domestic violence is only 2 years? And it's for this very reason and stuff. Is because there's some women out there who, believe it or not, like that sort of dominant role and stuff. And I know that sounds fucked up, but it's true. It's 100% true. Not that that's a wrong thing. Like, I'm not judging people for, like, you know, liking being in that type of relationship. But, like, there's a reason why the max domestic violence years is only 2. It's only 2 years. There's a reason for that, I swear. I don't know, bro. Because here's the thing. If a woman didn't want to be hit and stuff, they would walk away, just like They Love Mars did here, right? They Lamars, that's exactly what you did. You walked away, right? There's women who will stay in that type of relationship for a long time and stuff. And that's their fucking fault. Period. That's their fault. And that's why we have only 2 years the max penalty for domestic violence. Because if if they truly didn't want to be hit and stuff, they would just leave, I believe, and whatnot, you know. And look, I'm not judging. I'm not trying to look. If you like being hit, then that's fine. I get like the trauma aspect and stuff like that. I'm not saying like there's someone who like dude. I'm just saying like bro, like most of these people who like there's a lot of women out there who will say like, oh, he abused me and stuff like that, but then like stay in the relationship, and it really doesn't make any fucking sense. But look, I mean, I'm not. I I don't know, bro. It's just there are women out there like that. I swear, and I bet you a lot of women are like that. Not that it's fucked up, but yeah, it's true. But like, dude, you don't have to call the police if a guy hits you. You just have to leave. You know what I mean? Just leave the relationship. Like if a guy hits you once, then just leave. You don't have to call the cops. You know what I mean? And it's like, I mean, I'm from the countryside. My parents are married 40 years, but when you are trying to build your own life, it's hard to find a good girl. I agree. And and if you as a guy call the police, they put you in cuffs. Yeah. You don't understand they hurt you worse. What do you mean by that? I just like dude, like I don't if you're hit as a woman, like you don't have to call the fucking cops. Just run away. Like literally just run away. Don't be in the relationship anymore. Like, bro, like calling the police is not necessary. You know how you teach people not to do that sort of behavior is you walk away. That's how you do it, you know? Yeah, for real. Exactly, Alec. And you know it's like it just doesn't most of domestic violent cases are like I'm sorry, bro. Like there's definitely guys out there with anger issues, but even the guys with anger issues, they don't get angry for no fucking reason. Like usually this stuff is on repeat. Like I don't even care. Like let's just say if a guy hit a girl because she moved the fucking remote or something like that to the wrong place. That's still a reason they got fucking angry. And if let's just say that guy told him not to do that, her not to do that multiple times, and this woman knows what pisses him off and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's right and stuff, but like I'm just saying there's a reason why he got angry. You know? That's all I'm saying. I don't even care if it's something as little as that. I really don't, bro. Like I'm sorry. If you don't like that, just leave the relationship, you know? Cool hair, thank you. My ex used to crash out and hit me when I finally defended myself. I got a case and it was building. Really, dude, that's fucking crazy, Alex. Yeah, I'm so sorry that happened. Alex, you should definitely subscribe and come back to my lives. Dude, I'm so sorry you were in that position. That's some bullshit. Yeah. Dude, it's like, dude, yeah, most domestic violence cases are some BS. And usually when there's domestic violence involved, they're abusing each other. That's the thing. That's the funny thing about these, like, you know, domestic violence relationships. They're usually abusing each other, the woman and the guy. Like you can't do shit either. You're gonna getting hit or do something back and get all the blame. So it's bad either way. Yeah. I don't know. I don't. So They Love Mars is probably getting super offended now. I'm just saying, bro. I believe like most domestic violence cases are fucking bullshit. I'd like. You can't convince me a guy like gets angry for no fucking reason. Like I don't even care if it's something as small as moving a fucking remote. Like say, yeah, you could say they have anger issues, but they're a guy. They're supposed to have anger and stuff. Like so, it's like I'm not saying too much and whatnot, but like I don't fucking know, bro. I just don't believe guys get angry for no reason. I feel like I'm sounding like a complete asshole right now. I'm just saying, bro. Like to convince me, like to try, like I don't fucking know, bro. Oh shit. Open HDMI too. Alex, are you still here? You should turn on notifications so you know when I go live. I would love to see you more because I'm really sorry about your story, but I really do sympathize with your situation. Alex, so how you turn on notifications is you go to my profile, you click the notification bell, then you click all. Again, go to my profile, click the notification bell, then click all. What the hell is going on? I'm just like, bro, I'm just curious. Like, how do you know? Okay.
I have to wear the jacket because I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for what you do. It's really an honor. So I think we've won every single vote at this early voting site.
Have you seen a lot of young people?
Yes.
Like primarily young people?
Young people coming in. And
there was a text.
we put out a text yesterday that we're going to be here. And by the way, most of where I'm going to be over the next couple of weeks is at early voting sites.
Yeah.
Just like this. Miami-Dade County most of this week. And then the entire state opens up on August 8th. All over the state. And then I'll vote on election day. So it'll be good.
Have you happened to hear about who Asmongold is? Like on the.
I know he is.
Did you see his reaction to your videos?
I did.
Oh my god.
He's a smart guy.
I was watching it on the way here just because I watched it a few times.
His reaction videos are really good.
He's like the most based governor in the entire state.
You know he's from Florida, right?
He is really
Yeah, originally from Florida. He lives in.
Out to Israel.
Never. Never. No foreign. Thanks, man.
Don't send out to Israel.
Never. Never. No foreign money. Remember, it's in my legally binding contract.
Amen.
No foreign money ever.
Thank you. Pleasure to meet you.
Very nice
back.
to meet you.
Thank you. All right, I gotta post this little pic of you.
Yep.
Do you have another one of these? Is that the only one you have? What do you got?
Yeah, it's like a very.
Let me see them really quick. And it. Phone as well. This will be good. Let me just think really quick about where we need to be.
You editing documentary on Chud the Builder? No.
When Obama got elected.
In 08?
Yeah, we had a line that went all around here and
On a-
all the way down that street over here behind the building.
On election day, yeah.
Yeah. It's important. It's an important thing to do.
It's
probably the most
important thing to do.
Yeah, because this is when I got an opportunity to actually voice my opinion.
That's right.
You know, that can be heard and be counted.
You've been voted out by the majority. Thank you so much.
I'm telling you, hey.
Just talk the same
Yes.
thing. Are black people
Today.
do
Hold on,
black
I'm getting
doctors
there.
are black doctors talk the same
Yes.
thing? Are
You-
black
you
people
keep cutting me
or
off.
no,
It's
let's
called-
we
yes, it's
we
a
gotta go
system.
point by point. You're saying the system
All right,
is
I
taught
do
to
have
anybody
to
in
pause
medicine.
it here. I have to pause it here. You've been voted out by the majority.
Wanted to finish
Thank you so much.
I'm telling you, hey.
3, 2, 1.
All right. So you're talking about 2026, right? Okay, cool. You want to say that these systems no longer exist in the way that they have before, but kind of going off of some of the other claims, there's a resulting effect that comes from the decades and decades and generations that have not received like
Bay Bud. Whoa, Bay Buds. Is that you? I haven't seen you in forever. Bay Buds, are you? Is that you? You got to tell me. I've literally been thinking about you. I've been thinking about, man, I miss talking to Bay Buds. Are you still here? What's up, Minnie? How's it going? Bay Buds. Please tell me you're still here. I'm doing good. I swear to God, I've been thinking like the past 3 days, literally about you and stuff and how I used to talk to you and whatnot. So I miss you. You should definitely turn on notifications for my TikTok live streams and these live streams, or text me on Instagram. I miss you. I'm doing all right. How are you? I miss you more. I'm glad that you are doing well. That's awesome. You got to text me on Instagram, okay? Text me on Instagram, please. Promise me you will. And you should turn on notifications so I could see you more, because I miss talking to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Heart, heart. Man, what have you been doing? What have you been up to lately?
and equity. So when you say personal responsibility, even what you said, like I come from a neighborhood where some people make it, some people don't. It's not that. Like you have a low floor and a high ceiling, right? For white people, their floor is a little bit higher because they start off with a little bit more. Their families come from a little bit more. They might, they might have better choices as opposed to better outcomes. And I think that if you don't apply that sense of logic into the decision making of what you're saying, it's like you're kind of you're kind of victim shaming people who already have one foot kind of like in a trap. And they're trying to run this race, but there's like barriers that's holding them back that have been there for decades.
Yeah, let me explain. I love what you said, and I think we agree on a lot of what you said.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that there isn't disparity.
Right.
There's clearly disparity. You would have to be a fool to say that there's not disparity in law enforcement. There's not disparity in what we've seen with the negative effects of redlining, which we could go into that. You can't, it's not that there's not disparities. What I'm saying is that these disparities that exist, I don't believe that they're rooted in systemic racism, and I don't think that we can't overcome them and become better. I don't believe that because, like, and then also some of these disparities.
Just want to survive out here for real. We will talk soon in Instagram soon. Good to see you. Yes. You should definitely message me on Instagram, babe. I'll respond.
We have a lot of responsibility in changing these disparities. Right. Like we talk about a person's credit history. Like that's a personal responsibility thing. We talk about our young brothers getting locked up in prison, the things that we are doing and how we're teaching our young people, the music that we listen to, all of those things are contributing factors that keep us here when white people are here on average. Gotcha. I don't think that there's a system in place that's really holding us back beyond what we've done to ourselves. That's what my claim is.
And I'm willing to say, like, you know, as somebody who come from a neighborhood that not necessarily a lot of people.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Route. Like I got a master's degree.
Yeah, I cut it a little short.
I'm reinvesting in my community. Went the college route. Like I got a master's degree and everything like that. I'm reinvesting in my community and helping people out. But I do think that there's a piece of that you said, like, all of this blah 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 blah, and then you said but. And I think when you say that without like an and, like it misses the mark of having humanity for people who might not. Again, like choices are choices. And if I grew up in a neighborhood where I didn't have like books at a young age, I didn't have after school programs, my family couldn't afford a tutor, I couldn't get good lunch, so I'm eating the shit that you know what I'm saying? So it's
so let's keep that point. I agree with you 100% because you know I wasn't always Brandon Tatum, you know, making the money I make and all of that stuff, man. I grew up in a very balanced perspective, and I understand some people don't start from the same place. You know, when your mama and daddy selling dope, your daddy go to prison, your mama get killed, your chances of dealing through trauma is much different than if you had a healthy household. I don't want to come across as saying I don't understand what goes on in the inner city community, and this is more about poverty. No, what I'm saying is this is more about poverty than race, in my opinion. When I was a cop patrolling poor white neighborhoods, they daddy wasn't there either. Right. And they were committing most of the crime in these poverty-stricken neighborhoods. Education was not something that was afforded to some of these people. So it's not necessarily just a race thing. You know, and I want us to get past the point of using it as an excuse.
What's up, Adam?
Because we're black, we uniquely have these things that are holding us back. And I don't know if that's true.
But no, so I work with students with special needs, right? And a lot of times what we say when we have their diagnoses is it's not an excuse as much as it's an explanation. And it's like you have a reason or a rationale behind why something exists. And when you have that, it's like you have to let that seep into your thinking. And it's like you talk about the music or the movies or the TV shows, like it ain't, you know, Goodfellas and Godfather and Scarface and all these stuff with people who don't look like us, who, you know, we got power and, you know, all of that stuff like that. Cool, we got music, but don't act like we ain't see Tiger King, you know, or, you know what I'm saying? And they was out there anyway. But what I'm saying is, it's like there's microscopic like examples you can give of all of these things.
Native Americans animation. How Native Americans lived.
Yo, what's up? How's it going, guys?
This continent has some of the most dramatic landscapes on the planet, from the ocean shorelines to the alpine mountains and the sandy deserts. And also in this landmass from coast to coast and everywhere in between, there lived hundreds, if not thousands of different nations, tribes of people whose land this was. This was their home. But then others showed up to these shorelines in their boats. And that is when everything changed. In the spring of 1803, two American politicians visiting Paris closed the sweetest real estate deal they had ever seen. With the simple stroke of a pen, their country doubled in size, all for just $15 million. But in this deal, which was called the Louisiana Purchase, the US didn't actually buy this land from France. France didn't actually own the land. What the United States was buying was the imperial rights to this huge swath of North America. This basically meant that France would stay out of the way and let the budding new empire, the United States, colonize it without interfering. If the United States really wanted ownership over this land, they would need to get it from the people who were here first, which at the time was lots of different native tribes. These are the people who had been here for thousands of years, way before Europeans had the idea of leaving their continent. And this land that the US just bought was theirs. Oh, and this isn't just me, like some modern enlightened person looking back and judging the United States at this time. The US knew that this wasn't their land and that they were going to have to buy it from the people living there. And their big plan was to do things differently, not like the old imperial powers that they had just broken away from. In fact, George Washington was, quote, determined that the U.S. government's administration of Indian affairs shall be directed entirely by the great principles of justice and humanity. Go USA, let's do this in the right way. So instead of conquest, they would negotiate and sign formal treaties with these native nations. Then they would pay them for their land, fair and square. After all, this was a country whose founding document highlights justice, tranquility, welfare, and liberty. In our series, How the U.S. Stole, we get to see how the U.S. grew from a group of English settlers to a global superpower. But none of those stories would exist without this one. The origin story. The first thing that the U.S. ever stole. So Europeans are pouring into this newly formed country, the United States. And the government is making deals and signing treaties with the tribes, allowing these newcomer immigrants to settle on their land. At first, this is a fairly peaceful transactional process. The US would offer food, farming equipment, cash, the services of a blacksmith, all in exchange for ownership over this land. But unsurprisingly, a lot of these tribes had no interest in moving out of their ancestral lands in exchange for, like, farming equipment. And this is where all of George Washington's ideals of justice and humanity really start to dissolve. The US was becoming a more powerful nation. They needed more land for their booming population. So the impatient settlers and their government started playing dirty.
The westward movement was like a great tidal wave.
You start to see what happens when these tribes say no to the newly powerful United States. In one instance, one group of tribes up near the Great Lakes didn't want to sell their land. They told the United States that this river would be the border and to not cross it, to stay off their land. The US said no, and they took them to war, and lost twice. But on the third time, they won the battle and forced the tribes to sign a treaty giving away all of this land, basically all of present-day Ohio. Something very similar happened down here when the Seminole tribes refused to leave their land. The US military came in, another war, killing thousands, forcing the tribes to sign a treaty and pushing them into the swampy interior of the state, where they had no access to their farmland or the ocean. Down here in what was becoming Alabama, the Muskogee Nation refused to sign a relocation treaty, but not wanting to go to war, agreed to sell a portion of their land in return for a guarantee that they keep the rest. And the United States agreed, and they actually did. And the Muskogee kept their ancestral lands forever. Womp womp, no, that didn't happen. 4 years later, a bunch of white settlers moved in, boxing the Muskogee out of their ancestral land. As tensions grew because of this violated agreement, the US military was called in to force the Muskogee out of their lands. No treaty was ever signed. I mean, the shenanigans ranged the whole gamut here. They would get tribal leaders drunk to trick them into signing this paper that gave them all the land. They would appoint random people drunk to trick. I mean, the shenanigans ranged the whole gamut here. They would get tribal leaders drunk to trick them into signing this paper that gave them all the land. They would appoint random people to be the tribal leaders and then tell them to sign away the land for the whole tribe. In another conflict, the Sioux and Arapaho nations defeated the US military over and over until the US finally signed a peace treaty acknowledging their land. And they were safe. Until gold was discovered 8 years later, and the US broke their treaty, redrew the boundaries, built roads on their land, and before you know it, you've got a bunch of white guys with gold pans harvesting this land. Treaties and justice be damned. Eventually, other tribes caught on to what was going to happen, realizing that refusing the US government would mean violence. So they would sign the paper, take the money, and leave. Over the course of almost 100 years, the United States signed 368 treaties with tribal nations, who were driven one way or another to make way for white settlers, who established control over this land that their government had stolen for them. And yes, you have all the paperwork, all the spreadsheets that they were making, all the treaties, a nice paper trail, but this was all a facade of justice, a thinly veiled campaign for imperial conquest. Before we go on to the story, I just need to tell you that we don't have a sponsor for today's video. Lately, I've been hearing from some sponsors that my videos are too political, which is kind of a bummer because we work really hard to tell really cool stories. And if that means that people don't want to sponsor us, that's fine. Luckily, we have a Patreon where all of you can support this work. It's called The Newsroom. We call it The Newsroom because it just sounds cooler than Patreon. But it is a place where you can support what we are doing, which is from you get to see live Q&As with me. But more importantly, you get the warm fuzzy, the link in my description. It's like fake, it's working. And again, let's get back to the story. Okay, so we have all of this like fake treaty shenanigans going on to help the United States feel like they're doing justice. And it's working. They're moving loads of native people out of their ancestral lands so that white people can settle it. But there was one region that proved particularly difficult for this extermination project that was going down. Here in the Deep South, you had these 5 large nations that lived side by side with the settlers for a long time. They had all signed treaties with the United States that acknowledged their right to this land. Many of them spoke English, practiced farming, wore European clothes. Some even owned slaves. Because of this, these 5 tribes, the Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Muskogee, and Seminole, were known as the 5 civilized tribes. And there's an alternative world where these tribes could have remained on their land, living side by side with the Europeans as they settled. But that's not what happened. Mostly because of cotton. Farmers down here were getting super rich off of a very valuable cash crop called cotton that they could sell to textile mills around the world. It was an industry made even more profitable by its key input, free labor from stolen Africans. There was this one strip of land down here called the Black Belt Prairie that was particularly desirable for farming cotton. But as you can see, it was locked up in what the United States treaties had formally acknowledged belonging to native nations. But the farmers down here were looking at this as like, this is a perfect place to expand our cotton kingdom. So these southern slave owners did what was kind of becoming US policy towards the people living on the land that they wanted. They made up their own rules. The state of Georgia was particularly aggressive in trying to clear this land out, or in the words of their governor at the time, to replace, quote, all of the red with white population. They targeted the Cherokee Nation, passing a law that abolished their governments. The Cherokee are not going to stand for this, so they fight back using the same shenanigans that the United States is trying to use, the U.S. legal system. They take Georgia to court, a case that went all the way to the Supreme Court. And guess what? The Cherokee Nation won. Like, there was no way around the fact that they had ironclad rights to this land, signed and sealed. The highest court in the country just ruled that the states could not impose on tribal sovereignty. But, as we all learned in government class, a ruling from the judicial branch only works if the executive branch enforces it. Oh, and who was in charge of the executive branch? Oh, this guy.
The guy who wrote a letter to his wife during the War of 1812 from the battlefield saying that he had successfully slaughtered 170 Native Americans in, quote, an elegant style. Oh, and the guy who's on our $20 bill? Yeah, him. Andrew Jackson thought that negotiating treaties with the people who were living here was a ridiculous notion. So he looks at the Supreme Court ruling that validates that living here was him. Andrew Jackson thought into style. Oh, and the guy who's on our $20 bill? Yeah, him's in the field saying that he had successfully slaughtered 170 Native Americans in, quote, an elegant style. Slaughtered his wife during the War of 1812 from the battlefield saying that he had successfully slaughtered 170 Native Americans in, quote, an elegant style. Oh, and the guy who's on our $20 bill? Yeah, him. Andrew Jackson thought that negotiating treaties with the people who were living here was a ridiculous notion. So he looks at the Supreme Court ruling that validates the Cherokees' right to their land, and he literally responds in the snarkiest way possible, saying, the Chief Justice, John Marshall, has, quote, made his decision, now let him enforce it. No, he was not going to enforce it. Jackson had a different plan in mind. It came in the form of a new law that he pushed through both houses of Congress. His whole worldview towards First Americans embodied in a piece of American legislation, the Indian Removal Act of 1850. Ridiculous notion. So he looks at the Supreme Court ruling that validates the Cherokees' right to their land. Andrew Jackson thought that successfully slaughtered 170 Native Americans in, quote, an elegant style. Oh, slaughtered 100 during the War of 1812 from the battlefield, saying that he had successfully slaughtered 170 Native Americans in, quote, an elegant style. Oh, and the guy who's on our $20 bill? Yeah, him. Andrew Jackson thought that negotiating treaties with the people who were living here was a ridiculous notion. So he looks at the Supreme Court ruling that validates the Cherokees' right to their land, and he literally responds in the snarkiest way possible, saying, the Chief Justice, John Marshall, has, quote, made his decision, now let him enforce it. No, he was not going to enforce it. Jackson had a different plan in mind. It came in the form of a new law that he pushed through both houses of Congress. His whole worldview towards First Americans embodied in a piece of American legislation, the Indian Removal Act of 1830. This law used taxpayer money to get tribes out of the United States and legislation.
I appreciate you guys. Here, just stay here. Please, please.
The Indian Removal Act of 1830. This law used taxpayer removal towards First Americans in law that he pushed through both houses of Congress. His whole worldview towards First Americans embodied in a piece of American legislation, the Indian Removal Act of 1830. This law used taxpayer money to get tribes out of the United States and to relocate them to an uninhabitable place that surely no American settler will ever end up.
The Great Plains seemed an inhospitable land to people familiar with the eastern states and of Europe.
This became their dumping ground, and it came with a promise. Move here and we will never mess with you again. And what's crazy to me is that even after all of the shenanigans, all the facades, they continued. This became their dumping ground. And it
land to people familiar
settler will ever end up.
The Great Plains seemed an inhospitable land to people familiar with the eastern states and of Europe.
This became their dumping ground, and it came with a promise. Move here and we will never mess with you again. And what's crazy to me is that even after all of the shenanigans, all the facades, they continued to play this charade, saying that the nation of Indians may choose to exchange their land where they now reside. The law says that the government had to negotiate these treaties fairly, voluntarily, peacefully, and that the government would, quote, forever secure and guarantee them their new land, and that they wouldn't break any of the pre-existing agreements that they had made in previous treaties. But no, this was just more pretending. a paper trail of pretend humanity. Just as Andrew Jackson had ignored the Supreme Court ruling, he had no intention in following the law that he helped create. But he kept up the ruse. More documents, more signatures, more paper that made these civilized, justice-minded people feel like they weren't orchestrating a mass ethnic cleansing, sanctioned by the government, paid for by taxes, but they were. So this law is implemented, and the United States government, military, and even private companies start to ramp up their removal efforts of first Americans. They focus in on these 5 tribes that were sitting atop the land that they wanted for their cotton empire. More bribes, more pretend negotiations, and when push came to shove, more threats of violence. The Cherokee eventually signed a treaty agreeing to sell their last portion of land, and they moved west, out to their little rectangle of land that had been allocated to them by the government on maps. The only problem was that the leader who signed the treaty on behalf of the Cherokee people was not actually the real leader. They had no authority to make this decision. The Cherokee chief furiously protested this, but the US didn't care. They had their signature from someone. In their eyes, all was justified. Between 1831 and 1838, nearly every member from the 5 tribes was expelled from their land. 100,000 people, whose home this was, now forced to walk by foot for more than 1,000 miles through brutal weather and terrain towards a little box on the map, a place they had never been before. The Cherokee would eventually call this journey the Trail Where We Cried, or the Trail of Tears. Some tried to fight back against their oppressors, and others stood their ground until they were forcibly bound in chains by the US government and herded west at gunpoint. Their land was vacant, and cotton farmers with their slaves moved in, and the economy grew. We'll never know how many people died during all of this, how many lives were really destroyed. Some people say 3,000, other estimates say 15,000, but you don't need those numbers to see how destructive this was. It was systematic, it was documented, and it was enshrined in law. We have a paper trail of all of it, showing the receipts, the payments, the treaties, the bureaucracy of it all. It's like a bunch of spreadsheets from the 1800s. American settlers, in an effort to be different from the old world empires they fled, ended up carrying out the first state-sponsored ethnic cleansing. There's a reason why Hitler, 100 years later, references this exact event, this process, when he was carrying out his own ethnic cleansing. References this ethnic cleansing. There's a reason why Hitler, 100 years later, references this exact event, this process, when he was carrying out his own ethnic cleansing. He said that the Volga, which is a river in Russia, would be, quote, our Mississippi. He said that Europe, not America, would be the land of unlimited possibilities. The story of what happened to many nations of the first Americans doesn't end here. In fact, this is kind of the beginning. We're gonna make a second part to this video, and in that part 2, I wanna show you what happens next once these tribes arrive to their little rectangle on the map. Indian Territory, the place where these tribes were forced out, dumped, and left to build a new life, and how they once again tried to fight back using the legal frameworks that had pushed them out, and how all of that led to the establishment of one state in our country that could have looked a lot different. The poster, I've been dreaming about this poster for a very long time. All maps are wrong, and indeed they are. This poster shows dozens of map projections, all the weird quirky shapes that you get when you try to map a sphere, which is what our globe is, onto a piece of paper which is flat. It is available right now. You can go buy it, and doing so supports this channel, but it also gets you a really sweet poster. We printed it on really nice paper. I spent a very long time nudging every one of these maps. I got help from some of my best friends and designers, like Becky from Becky and Chris is like a really good graphic designer. I literally sent her the Illustrator file and I was like,
yo, what's up, artist? How's it going?
look at this map. I mean, old document. It's a manifesto, a breakup letter between British people on either side of an ocean. It's the Declaration of Independence. And no, it's not the real one. I didn't steal it. But I did find a typo. Look at this. Okay, right up here at the top, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. Look at this. United. Lowercase u, tiny little type, not nearly as big as States of America. Shouldn't this be an uppercase U for like the name of the country, United?
After the Civil War, many of the Plains Indians were moved to Oklahoma.
There's a place in the middle of North America with a story that you should know about. It's not the one about the violent dust that pushed people out, or the novel about a homicide and a drought, or the songs and dances about rivalries between farmers and cowboys. It's the story of what happened before all of this. The story of checkerboard maps and lines and private property and broken promises. All because of this. This place was a dumping ground for the people that the US government wanted to get rid of, which is why today it has the second highest number of first Americans of any state. It was once a random rectangle that the US government used to ship native populations after they removed them with a new weapon of state power. Paperwork, treaties and payments and spreadsheets. Pretend justice. That's the story we talked about in part 1. The next part is how these first Americans created a state of their own, fighting against their captors to retain one last shred of sovereignty over their land, the land that had been taken from them over and over again.
The frontier people had remade a continent, the United States of America.
Hey, before we go on, let me tell you something disturbing, kind of, which is I recently learned that my name and all of my personal details were on a people search list. It's just one of many sides of this massive shadowy market of data brokers who collect loads of information about all of us and then sell it to companies. We have privacy right to go out, actually that support this channel, but it also gets you in on a full refund within 30 days if you decide that this service isn't for you. Thank you, Incogni, for helping me out here and also for sponsoring today's video. Let's dive back into the story. Okay, so remember in part 1, I showed you how the US government used bureaucracy and a particularly horrible law to push out over 100,000 people, to push them off their land, many of them ending up here, in a little rectangle that the US called Indian Territory. And crucially, in the process of kicking these nations off their land, the US government promised that they would leave them alone, that they could live in peace, rebuild their lives, relearn their land. So over the course of the 1800s, more and more tribes are exiled and arrive here to Indian Territory. The territory gets divided again and again as these tribes are crammed into this one rectangle, which results in this map. And a reminder that each of these nations had their own government and culture and language, and yet they were all dumped in this one place and labeled Indian. So they ended up here knowing that it would be hard, but okay, at least we can rebuild a new life without the anxiety of white settlers unfairly claiming our land. Oops, nope, here they come.
The westward movement was like a great tidal wave, sweeping westward past the Mississippi River.
Over in the east, the Americans had now convinced themselves that it was their literal destiny to keep spreading west. And as they're doing so, they stumble upon this rectangle that they thought they would never reach. But no, they're not allowed to settle here because it's allocated for Indians by treaties, like real ironclad treaties. Okay, but wait, here in the center of this map, you see this little section. What does that say? Here, let's look at a different map. Oh, unassigned land. Let's settle here.
When the land was thrown open to white settlers.
And by settle, I mean not like buy the land or sign anything. Just show up to this empty looking flat area and just settle. Soon, these imperial squatters are farming the land. They're building a life, a society in the West, but right in the heart of the territory that the US government had signed treaties promising to first Americans. Oh, and by the way, I'm just gonna get this out of the way now. Maps around this time start to show this weird little panhandle that doesn't make any sense, literally called no man's land, because nobody really claimed it, and then a bunch of criminals started living here because there was no law. Anyway, someday I'll go into that one. We're talking about Indian Territory, and word soon gets out that this place is the new trendy part of town. The federal government is kind of hesitant, like, wait a minute, we had promised these people this land, like, let's just back off. But the squatters kept coming and clamoring, and soon there was a railroad that was built that went right through here, bringing even more settlers. And finally, the government was like, fine, you can move in and settle in this one little section of unassigned land in the middle of Indian Territory. But it's gonna be first come, first serve, and so we'll make it a race? Yes, a race. Like literally there was a race. There was a starting line and there was a gunshot and 50,000 settlers hungry for new land in covered wagons dashed forth to claim some of this 2 million acres of unassigned land in hopes of getting cheap property and starting a new life. 2 million acres of covered wagons dashed forth to claim some of this 2 million acres of unassigned land in hopes of getting cheap property and starting a new life. The tidal wave of Europeans continues. They're hearing about these mystically huge plots of land in the West, the American dream. As unassigned land started to fill up, the settlers started to look around at all of this land that, yeah, technically had been promised to the natives, but they weren't really using it to farm, so like, no harm if we just sort of set up shop here, right? So they kind of start doing this, and the government has to get involved. So in 1890, they draw this line. It cuts Indian Territory in half, leaving all of this, as well as the random no man's land panhandle, to become a new territory. They would call it Oklahoma. So Indian Territory now is just this land for the 5 civilized tribes. That's what the federal government called them. But all the tribes that had lived here were now in the new territory of Oklahoma, and their land was suddenly up for grabs. And once again, here come the maps, and the documents, and all the stuff that basically made this feel like it was official and right. A lot of these maps have squares on them. Look at these squares. Perfectly checkered squares. All of these squares, these checkerboard maps, show us how differently European settlers and their government saw the world than the natives. The concepts of communal land use and lack of personal property that tribes abided by was considered backwards and uncivilized. From the European view, they're not using the land productively, so we need to create a system of grids and plots and land titles to get the most out of this land. This process of drawing a bunch of squares on the land that had formerly been promised to natives was called allotment. And it meant taking tribal territory like this and drawing a bunch of straight lines to make it a massive grid. And then they would find out where native families were living and allow them to stay there. But everything else was up for grabs.
The signal was given and the race was on.
And here come more of those weird races, 4 more in fact, each bringing in floods of settlers into this land that had been promised by treaty to somebody else. And look, these maps start to fill up with names. Alice, Roy, Julia Delage has this square. Those are people coming from Europe looking for the American dream and finding maps full of squares and land to claim. Allotment. This real estate boom came with a marketing boom as well. Indian land for sale. Get a home of your own. Easy payments. Possession within 30 days. And look, they're advertising that here in 1911 that they have 350,000 acres available for sale. There is so much land up for grabs. It was the same thing as before, what we talked about in the first video, but just happening again in a different place by different people. It was maps and documents and bureaucracy, cutting down native sovereignty and culture square by square. With all of this carving up, settlers start outnumbering the indigenous people. The 5 tribes were still technically safe from all of this allotment for a time, but they saw what was coming. They had learned time and time again that the United States government, for all of their treaties and promises, never actually kept the agreements that they signed. And they were right. Soon, there was a law passed. that said that all tribal governments and tribal courts would be abolished by 1906. So as a last-ditch effort to fight back, the 5 tribes gathered and devised a plan to salvage some shred of their sovereignty. This was a time when U.S. territories were making proposals to be states, and new states were popping up left and right. So if these tribes wanted to band together and make a state of their own, this was their time. They called the state Sequoia, in honor of the man who created the Cherokee writing system. And so the year before all the tribal governments were to be abolished by law, the tribes held the Sequoia Constitutional Convention, where hundreds of spectators gathered to watch the delegates create and write a constitution, complete with a Bill of Rights, trade regulations, tax policy, county borders. And by the end of it, they had produced this 35,000-word document separated into 18 articles, 270 sections, that had everything they needed for a proper state. It was unanimously ratified, and in a public vote, overwhelmingly endorsed by the citizens in Indian Territory. And honestly, if you read this document, it's kind of a story. From the population to the economy to education and taxable wealth, they deserve to be a state. But then they appeal to the humanity of the government that had done so much harm to their people, their culture, and their home. They appeal to this, quote, natural right of people to govern themselves, quote, by the fact that we constitute a separate and distinct community from any on earth with a different history, associations, and ideals and hopes. These people had been boxed out time and time again, and now they were appealing to the values of these Europeans who had taken their land, using their language and their legal tools to make the case for their statehood. Okay, so now with their well-formulated constitution, their solid proposal, their maps, all of it in hand, the tribal leaders went to Washington, ready to lobby for a state. And Congress didn't even look at the proposal. Like, they didn't even look at look at it. It wasn't like a debate. It's just like, they just were like, no, of course not. It was like dead on arrival. First, just because of plain old politics. The Republican majority at the time didn't want a state that would mean more senators and congressmen for Democrats, something that Republican President Teddy Roosevelt especially didn't like. It was also about resources. Sequoia had oil and farmland that Oklahoma Territory didn't have. And we're going to let the native people have like all these resources. But in addition to this, many white lawmakers didn't like the idea of a state run by brown people. So the proposal died.
Wow.
Sequoia never became a state. If there was going to be a state, there could only be one.
Wow.
And indeed, 2 years later, a new map was drawn. All of this land that was going to be Sequoia was swallowed into a new state, the 46th, Oklahoma. But of course, they wouldn't throw away all the work that these tribes had put into Sequoia's constitution, so they just sort of took it for themselves. The Oklahoma Constitution is basically word for word what was written in Sequoia's constitution. One historian called it, quote, the ultimate cut and paste job. So this is what Oklahoma looks like. And they reserved one small chunk for the native people to govern themselves up here. So just as a quick recap, time-lapse of the whole thing, remember that first Americans, the people who had lived here for thousands of years, went from roaming freely around all of this to being driven out and dumped into this rectangle, and then eventually cut in half, and then gridded up square by square and sold, to then being further reduced to this. Today, there are 39 recognized tribal nations in Oklahoma, but just one of them has a reservation. Now listen, this is one little shred of the history of the people who lived on this land. This same process happened all over the country as Europeans moved to every corner of the continent. After first Americans were boxed out and lied to and relocated, the United States government eventually settled on this. This is a map from 2020 that shows every federally recognized reservation. There are 326 of them. But remember that this number leaves out the tribes that we talked about in this story. But then, later that year, 2020, something big happened. A Supreme Court ruling found that the treaties that the U.S. had signed with the Muskogee, Cherokee, Choctaw, Seminole, and Chickasaw nations, promising that they would leave them alone in Oklahoma, those were legitimate treaties, and that those treaties had been broken when the US government just drew all of them into the state of Oklahoma. And thus, all of this land that was set aside for the 5 tribes during the whole relocation was in fact still tribal land. So what does that mean? Well, what it means at first is that Google Maps shows these borders that we've been looking at, these borders from treaties in the late 1800s. But if nothing else, it makes crystal clear how much of a charade all of this justice was back in the day. All of the treaties, all of the legal processes, it was all pretend. It was a sterilized version of the classical imperialism that these Europeans had kind of fled from. And yet it was incredibly effective. I mean, the very way that I have had to tell this story is proof of how effective it is. How our government policy successfully created the concept of Native American, of Indian, hundreds, if not thousands, of different peoples with unique cultures, languages, and histories, and relationships to this land, all lumped into one category on a spreadsheet, drawn into boxes, the perfect place to continue to whittle away at their distinct identities, to erase their story, one broken treaty at a time. Hey everyone. So this topic is way bigger than I could ever do in this video, and I've struggled with it for a lot of years. In fact, when I was at Vox, I was going to do a whole Borders series on reservations and First Americans, and it just felt too complicated to dive into, and I've been struggling with that. So this and the previous video are my attempts to broach this history, try to understand it, try to be sensitive to it, while also aware of how little we can do in a short video like this. So if you have other stories that need to be told on this, please let me know, because I want to know and I want to cover more. I just want to tell you about a couple things. Number one, something I'm really excited about is that we have a giant map poster that I designed with some help from my amazing team. And it is a poster of all of the map projections, not all of them, dozens of them, with a little explainer on why all maps are wrong, which is something I've been thinking about for years. So go check it out. It just sounds way cooler to call it the newsroom, and so we call it the newsroom. It is a place where you can go and support us while also getting a couple of cool perks, like an extra video every month. You get an extra video. This may be the C that they are referring to here in the remarks section.
I know what trending is better than anybody in the world. I've been trending my whole life. From the day I was born, I've been trending.
I like the good publicity and I like the bad publicity. It all plays.
Who is Donald Trump? A while back I realized that for all the attention Trump gets, I actually didn't know much about his life, how he rose to become one of the most powerful people on the planet, and what his life and career can teach us about what he really wants. I didn't know any of that, so I delved in to try to better understand how he rose to power, and, most importantly, why there are so many products with his name and face on them.
It is not a toupee, okay?
Okay?
All right.
Will you please inform the public?
So, join me as we explore the rise of Donald Trump.
Rich, ruthless, and famous, known for the buildings he's built and the wives he's divorced.
He played Monopoly, but more than Monopoly, he played with building blocks. Always with building blocks.
Donald Trump was born in Queens, New York, a river away from the gleaming skyline of Manhattan. He was a middle child of 5 kids, the son of an immigrant mother from Scotland who ran the Trump home and who was known for her charitable work in the community. But in Trump's telling, his father was his greatest influence.
My father built low and moderate income housing in Brooklyn and Queens.
His dad made a big fortune taking advantage of post-World War II government programs that funded affordable housing complexes during New York's rapid growth. By all accounts, Fred Trump was an obsessively hard worker, saying that he was successful because he could, quote, squeeze 9 days of work into a 7-day work week. Growing up, young Donald was the rich kid on the block. But even still, his hardworking father forced him to have a newspaper delivery route to teach him hard work. Though apparently when it rained, his dad would drive him around on his newspaper route in his Cadillac. Okay. Fred Trump focused on teaching his son the ways of the real estate business, taking young Donald to construction sites from a very young age. He instilled in his son a deep drive to win at anything you do, to be the winner. He would tell Donald that he was raising him to be a king, and that he must become a killer at anything he did. He was tough on Donald, because he wanted him to be a winner. At school, Donald Trump was, in his own words, aggressive. His music teacher, who died in 2015, once said that, quote, there are certain children who need attention all of the time. He was one of those. And even punching that music teacher in the face, apparently giving him a black eye, because, quote, I didn't think he knew anything about music. I mean, he was like in elementary school. But it does show you some of this personality that starts to shape up from a young age. Trump says in his book that he focused on creating mischief because for some reason, quote, I liked to stir things up. I liked to test people. It wasn't malicious, it was just aggressive. You can read a lot more about this in his book, The Art of the Deal, where he talks a little bit about his childhood, as well as this really well-reported biography, Trump Revealed. I pulled a lot from these sources in my reporting here. Anyway.
One of the great choices I ever made in terms of success was the choice of going to NYMA, New York Military Academy.
Trump's father, Fred, obsessed with hard work and discipline, sent Donald to military boarding school to live full-time when he was just 13 years old. And this is where Donald Trump really starts to thrive.
It was a good education. It was a good training. It was a good training. I enjoyed it.
From my reading, this military academy was pretty intense. It was a place where, quote, physical brutality and verbal abuse were tolerated and encouraged, both in hazing new students and physical disciplining from teachers. Trump actually thrived on this kind of intense structure. It helped fire up his competitive nature, and soon he would be getting good grades and winning medals for things like having the cleanest room, or the shiniest shoes, or the best made bed, all while going around telling fellow students that, quote, I'm going to be famous someday. And this is where I want to start to make a list of some of Donald Trump's core beliefs. Going around telling fellow students that, quote, I'm going to be famous someday. And this is where I want to start to make a list of some of Donald Trump's core beliefs that start to become clear from a young age. This is stuff we'll see over and over again, and I want to make a list. First and foremost, the guy is obsessed with winning. You see this all over his childhood and the rest of his life.
I was a great baseball player. What position? First base, catcher, first base.
Trump was super into baseball. His baseball coach recounts that, quote, Donald always had to be number one in everything. He would do anything to win, and he wanted people to know that he was first. So teenage Donald Trump spends the school year thriving at military academy, eventually rising to the rank of captain over the rest of the cadets, and then spending summers back in Queens working with his dad, learning the ways of the real estate business. Both of these experiences are very formative and lay the foundation of who he will become and what he will do in his future. That future continues when he goes off to college.
I went to an Ivy League school. I'm very highly educated. I know words. I have the best words.
Trump gets into college, and he still doesn't know exactly what direction he's going to take. He considers going to film school in LA to become a filmmaker.
My other fantasy as I got older was to do movies. I wanted to be a movie maker.
Man, what an alternative world that would be. Donald Trump, the, movie director.
Down the hall and to the left.
Thanks.
I like keeping a low profile.
If only. But ultimately, he decided to follow his father's path. He studies economics and business, and this is like during the 70s. There's a war going on in Vietnam. Young men are being recruited, but Trump qualifies for an educational deferment, meaning he gets out of the draft 4 times because he's going to college. Once he got out of school, he would have been eligible for the draft, but he qualified once again for a deferral because of a problem with his heel bone. Though there is some controversy around this, because the doctors who wrote Trump's deferral recommendation both lived and or worked in buildings owned by Fred Trump, Donald Trump's dad. And there's some speculation as to whether or not he actually did have a heel spur, or whether or not these doctors were doing Donald Trump's dad a favor by making it so his son wouldn't be sent off to war. Either way, he didn't go to war, and instead starts working for his dad's thriving real estate business, building lower and middle income apartment buildings in Brooklyn and Queens. And then there's this moment in 1964 that shows us another important part of his personality. We'll make it the second item on our list here. There was this huge bridge in New York that had just been completed. It was a massive feat of engineering, connected Brooklyn to Staten Island or something. Fred Trump was invited to the opening ceremony of this bridge, and he invited his son Donald to be present. Donald sat there in the crowd and noticed that during this celebration of the bridge, the guy who actually designed the bridge was there, but he was just off in the corner. Quote, no one even mentioned his name, recalls Donald. He goes on to say, quote, I realized then and there that if you let people treat you how they want, you'll be made a fool. I don't want to be made anybody's sucker.
They just took us for a bunch of suckers.
This is a huge one. That for Donald Trump, it's not just about winning. It's that you must fight for recognition. That if you're not the center of the show, you're a sucker. Recognition and attention matter a great deal to Trump from a very young age.
I'm an artist. In a certain sense, I'm an artist. I built the greatest buildings in the world.
Okay, so Trump joins his dad's business, and he starts really learning the ways.
I started off making little deals in Brooklyn and Queens with my father, and they seemed to work out.
He's only in his 20s, but he quickly runs into some big issues that would redirect the course of his life. At this point, we're in the 1970s. The Civil Rights Act had just passed, which made it illegal to discriminate against people based on their race. And to enforce this, the US government, the Justice Department, would send agents undercover around to different apartment complexes to make sure that landlords weren't discriminating on who they rented to. This was a routine thing that they were doing, and it eventually happened to the Trump apartments. The DOJ would send in a black person undercover to apply for an apartment, and they quickly started to see a pattern where black or Hispanic people would be told that there was no available units in that complex. And then right after, the DOJ would send in a white person looking for the same type of apartment, only to find that suddenly there was room in that apartment complex. Department of Justice officials did this over and over and started to see a pattern of systematic racial discrimination. And on one day in 1973, Trump and his dad are hit with this lawsuit. The United States of America v. Fred Trump, Donald Trump, and Trump Management, Inc. The DOJ is hitting them with this lawsuit over allegedly discriminating against people based on race or color. They found that managers would mark rental applications with a C, indicating
Native Americans, primal. The history of Native Americans.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
So, are you digging doing this podcast?
All right, guys.
Lighting me on fire?
I'm gonna go, guys.
I'm loving it. I'm having fun. Well, let's put it that way. I love doing it. It's a royal pain in the